Anyway, hello. Welcome back to yet more games from the CL Jolly League Autumn 2021. We've got some Ocean series for you today. Some very interesting series. Here we see Paper Squad yet to lose a series, although they do have a couple of ties, by which I mean they've tied every series they've actually played. Are going up against Arc Battle Queens, who so far have only dropped one series, so still challenging for one of those top spots. You could argue Paper Squad still also challenging for one of those top squads spots if they manage to win the series. Very good for them. Everyone, there is a poll in the chat. Feel free to chuck your votes in. Say who you think is going to take this first series. Will it be Battle Queens? Will it be Paper Squad? Will it be a tie? Who knows? Um, yeah, for the screens. Uh, when Hampy asked about them, well, where do we vote that production value wins? Like, babe, we don't because production value I forgot to put it on. That happens. Yeah. Um, it's essentially right now, if Arc Battle Queens win this one, they are still in contention for basically first place. Um, when will CoraL Mods make a team and call it production value? Who knows? Who knows? Are you offering to make one? Maybe you should. CoraL PV, CLPV, the team, the myths, the legends. Every game you just pick the buggiest champions and try and cause bugs. Exploit as many bugs as possible. Continually pause, just waste everyone's time. Perfect. Everyone will love it. Just spam in the chat. Anyway, yeah, so quite important for both these teams if they want to challenge for that fourth place spot, which Battle Queens are currently sitting in on 2 wins and 1 loss. Paper Squad just behind them on 1 win and 2 ties. Um, so yeah, gotta gotta start recruiting for CLPV. Exactly. Um, but yeah, so we got a VOD series from these teams. Obviously, they played last week, I think. We'll go through them. Then later on, we have an Auction Crusade up against Crescent Solari, which is another fight for a top place spot in this table. If Solari go down, they've played more games, so although it looked like they're still on in first place, really they'll have dropped more games. Noxian Crusade kind of need a win here if they want to be in that top two. Loss here would put them down to third place. Would actually be joint third against Arc Battle Queens if Battle Queens win this game. So yeah, a lot on the line for that second game. Nox vs Solari live? Yes, it will be. So we've got an hour and a half to get through the first couple of VODs. Um, and then hopefully some time for me to set up. Anyway, we may as well go straight on to the VODs. So, worth noting, um, it did come out with not many people voting at all. The winner of the first series, it was between a tie or Paper Squad. We do have Battle Queens obviously on the blue side for the first game, and Paper Squad on the red side. Battle Queens did swap their mid laner. This is Atomica playing in the mid lane. Some of you will know Atomica, League of Pokemon's old mid laner. Um, he has now left the team or is gone from the team after this series. Don't take anything from that. Um, so I have to see how this goes. In terms of Arc's setup, they have Ren playing Ornn in the top lane, Enigma playing Kayn in the jungle, Atomica has Lissandra mid, Rekka has Misfortune AD carry, and Scylla has that Braum support. We look over at Paper Squad side, Wessel, gotta remember it is Wessel, as Darius in the top lane. Sleepless is playing Viego jungle. Shadowgream has Vex in mid lane. Talalat on Ashe AD carry, and Wastelad piloting Braum in support. So we'll get straight into the first game of the series, see how they both do. In terms of early to mid-game pressure and all of that sort of thing. I'm not actually sure where we would expect to see a lot of pressure coming out. You kind of expect the bot lane for Paper Squad to have the extra pressure just from they have that 2v1 and Ashe a extremely strong AD carry level 1 because she essentially gets an extra 10% damage on every shot after the first one because of that frost shot passive. So any longer trades with MF, she will come out winning. And Bard, of course, can go with the short trades. Edelblade's Ashe incredibly strong as well. A blue ward on the blue there actually put up by Shadowgrim. They saw him walk into the jungle, and a ping's coming out that vision has been put down there, so a good spot out from Battle Queens, but unknown if that's really going to help them. Because of course that ward will reveal the entire time the blue buff is there, and when it's got to, Battle Queens meanwhile won't know what is going on. I'll be interested to see if there's any sort of short trade coming out from the bot lane of Arc here, or if they just try and use the fact they don't have to leash to get that extra pressure. I don't know how Lissandra does into Vex early. I kind of assume she might have the early push, although Tomoko taking a bit of a trade there. Of course, quite good to both of these champions don't really want to be standing inside the wave. They want to throw their abilities through the wave. Ooh, Wasteland threading the needle there. Yeah, you can see in the middle lane there, Shadowgrim's getting off quite a few nice Qs from the Vex through the wave onto Atomica Tonka, struggling to get the same on the Lissandra. Shadowgrim, another person abusing Corrupting Pot. Do you see a Corrupting Pot coming out of Ren as well? Level 2 hit by Arc's bot lane first. The slow comes out. Looks like Talalat might be happy to trade it, but Arc back off incredibly quickly there. Interesting they didn't really want to try and pressure that when they had the advantage. Maybe could have forced a heal or a flash or something similar. Happy to just take the short trade that puts them a little bit up. Well, Shadowgrim is getting better of Atomica in this mid lane, but CS-wise not really any different because there is quite a bit of a bigger wave for Atomica there than there is for Shadowgrim. Most of that CS difference should be picked up. No pots actually used on either side. Of course, Lissandra very good for ganking, but Vex actually very hard champion to gank. If you know what you're doing with her, with the W, it's essentially an auto-fear as long as you can keep your passive up. Atomica finally using the pot. Seems to be learning in the lane. Nice to see. Don't stand behind your minions where Vex can get the Q through the wave onto him. Of course, top lane, we don't really expect to see much happening. Ren should just be falling behind very early. I'm a bit interested as to why the corrupting pots start on Ornn. I myself... Oh, but Enigma goes onto the Krugs, but he's found out by Wessel walking straight in, and that's just might be a dead Kayn. He goes down, does not flash away. And that's gonna make Ren's life very hard in this top lane. Yeah, but the thing I was saying about the top lane, often when it's a hard matchup on Ornn, I personally quite like to just straight up start like a Ruby Crystal or a Cloth Armor, and then you just build straight towards as many quick defensive stats as you can get in lane. Pot kind of implies that you're looking for some trades. Oh, this is just... There's not much that can be done here. Nice trades actually from Ren, but she will get pulled back in. Needs that pot ticking. Will tick a second version flash forced out from both. Actually, an overall win on that trade from Renska there. Wave's not in a great state, but she did manage to get both summoners out from Darius. Enigma is here for this They're trying to put some damage into Shadow Green, but they don't quite get onto him. Atomica very low, just going to be forced away here. Ark's bot lane are contesting for this dragon. They won't be able to do too much. But Ark, you can see Ark trying to make some plays around the map. Battle Queen's doing their best, but not really managing to get much from it so far. All they've really managed to do is they have built up a nice small CS lead. In this bottom lane, you can see probably about 10 minions there, so a big chunk of it will be brought back by the time Ash gets into lane. On the other side, Paper Squad, top lane, quite ahead on CS, very expected. Jungle also quite a big CS difference, as expected, but Enigma obviously got caught early in the jungle. Very unfortunate for him, and a good read from Wessel to guess that he would be pathing there. The fear does miss onto Atomica. Atomica's level 6 as well. He sees so many people here. Oh, from Shadow Green did hit. He has to flash away. That is a flash forced out from the Viego as well. And Atomica still has that ultimate. So Paper Squad realize they cannot follow up on that one. Yet again, in theory, a small advantage for Ark out of that trade coming in, but no real punish from the bot lane from the fact that Bard was mid. There's a lot of damage being put onto Atomica, sub 100 health here. Shadow Green just going to walk him down. Ultimate is forced out of the Lissandra. Nice timing there from Shadow Green. Enigma's here to try and follow up on this one. Fear, though, coming out from Shadow Green is enough. Enigma has the ultimate, will go in. Not quite enough, has the flash to pick up that kill, will surely die to the tower. Meanwhile, Wessel will just run down. Renska in this top lane does use the ultimate to pick up the kill, but not looking great for Battle Queens right now. Still have that small CS lead in the bottom lane, but not really managed to convert it into anything, any real big advantage. I hope, considering as well, Darius, with the early Sheen, Renska would decide to pick up some early plated steel caps, because of course the steel caps will reduce the amount of damage from all of those auto attacks, that being enhanced. Very worthwhile pickup, and the extra move speed will help her get away from the Darius that might be running straight after her. And as well as that early Drake, Paper Squad with the better, better laning, honestly, have managed to build up a bit of a lead here of close to 2,000. Shadow Green actually clearly knows what he's doing on the Vex. Seems like, from what we can see, Atomica learning in this game what the Vex laning is like. Here's the gank coming out on the bottom lane. That's 4 people coming in. They force the flash. Nice prediction. He's going to flash, and the kill does go over to Raka. Unfortunately for Atomica, TP's in there and does not really get anything for it. I think he potentially could have stayed here for the tower dive on Talalat. Yes, the Enchanted Crystal arrow is up, but there's still the heal on their side. They still have the flash on Misfortune, the exhaust on the Braum, and Atomica had the ult for himself to swap the tower aggro, so they really could have punished this bot side. Looks like Enigma will come for the tower dive. It's thrown out there, but they've waited so long that Wasteland's got here on the Bard. Well played, though. They do manage to get the kill and get out, so in the end, not too much given up, and Atomica will be back in that mid lane. I do wonder if, with the amount of fears that are coming out, whether Atomica will tech into those Merc treads. Realize that maybe it would be quite useful for me to just pick up some Merc treads and have the fears that do hit be shorter. Give myself a bit of anti-burst. Pull there from Wessel, but Ren will just charge out of that one. Looks like Herald will be dropped mid lane. It's a little bit early if they're looking to break the tower. Don't think will do that much. Not quite. So you can see they will have to push it in one more time, or someone will have to walk up and auto attack that for that first tower blood. Does mean they can get it to who they want, though. Scylla caught out here, everyone jumping in, but the Brom shield doing so much work, blocking so much. The ultimate from the Bard catches Atomica, but all it really does is stops a follow-up from Arc. Not that I expect one to come out. Shadowgream now walks straight into Raka and has no mana. Raka picking up that kill. 3-0 now on this Misfortune. Not sure where Sleepless is. And Battle Queen's forcing Paper Squad away from this Ocean Drake. A mispath from Shadowgream, costing that Drake for his team. Wessel here wants to pick up Ren. I think Ren tried to use their E there and was interrupted by the pull from Wessel. That's a lot of damage coming out, and surely Ren will just go down here. Meanwhile, there's a gank in the bottom lane, but Raka just takes Talala out, and now he's going to take out Sleepless as well. The flash, but you can't flash an auto attack. Atomica trying to pick up the kill onto Wessel, but there's so much damage. And this looks like it's going to be a game of MF versus Darius, and I don't know about you, but we're in the meta of bruisers. I think I know which one I would want. Of course, not the end of the world for Battle Queens. They do have that exhaust on the Braum, and I hope they'll realize right now that with so many kills stacked onto the Darius, there is exactly one person on the enemy team you should be exhausting. Exactly one person, no one else. And I hope we'll see a very defensive build coming out from the Braum, considering how much is stacked onto this MF. Your only job at this point is to keep her alive. I'd love to just see a rush on Knight's Vow and Locket to try and make sure she can survive. Maybe even the item that is like a cleanse for your teammates. Can't remember what it's called, but that would be a very nice one as well. Because you know that in this situation, Raka pretty much just has to build full damage. Has 6 of the 7 kills for her team, so has to try and provide as much damage as possible. The rest of the team at this point is basically peel. The time we're going, the Sork shoot's not necessarily the wrong choice, considering the rest of the team is such low damage. That will mean that he's still somewhat of a credible threat. Of course, building defensively when behind is very risky, so not happening here. Shadowgream waiting to try and ult in. Talalat being taken incredibly low. There's the ultimate, but Bard ultimate will stop it. Oh, but I'm not entirely sure. Scylla moving away there didn't block the arrow coming in. So that will be the shutdown picked up, and Scylla in a lot of trouble will also get taken out. And an absolute disaster for Battle Queens. Yeah, not too much more to say about that. You can see top lane tower going down 15 minutes into the game. There's not too much Ren can do at this point. Her job is basically try and get as much solo lane XP without dying as possible. Try and get to the point where you're building those Ornn items. I suppose it would be nice to see her tech into the Frozen Heart fairly early on, just because you somewhat imagine the Darius is going to try and ignore you and run past you, and if you've got the Frozen Heart, at least you're going to slow his attack speed. Which sure, won't do too much, but it's still one extra thing that might just help. TP coming in towards the bottom lane, but it's Shadowgream, and I don't know if he can realistically burst out this misfortune with Braum there. So teleport doesn't really do much, and mid lane will get shoved in. Potentially losing their Herald here. Not sure who got that one. It was Sleepless in the end, but Wessel is here to follow up. One kill picked up, but Atomica will go down. They should just back out of this one. No way for Wessel to get back in. And you know what? If you're Arc, you take that one for one. At this point, yeah, you're far enough behind that. The one for one's fine. Cloud Drake is alive. It is a Cloud Soul, so not the most impactful soul in the game. I guess at this point, if you are Battle Queens or a Battle Queens fan, you're quite happy that Cloud Soul has come up, because sure, that'll be annoying when Darius is running in, but if it was an Ocean, or if it was the Mountain Soul, the Darius becomes pretty much unkillable. And you have a lot of CC on your team anyway, so the move speed, although it's annoying, is really not the end of the world. Scylla here playing the absolute frontline, ult going in. Wessel jumping forward, but being taken very low. Raka wants to move forwards, but you can see the rest of the team moving backwards. Drake is fought over. It is picked up by Sleepless in the end. Atomka jumping in. Does not get the root because of the flash. Arc there a little bit out of sync. You see, it seemed like the rest of the team knew they were quite far behind, but Raka looked ready to just run straight forwards and take that fight. I'm not sure who was in the right. I think maybe if they had just run forwards, stacked around Raka to try and keep her alive, they might have won that. They had managed to get the Darius incredibly low. He didn't have the Sterix at that point, so it could have potentially burst him out. A nice dodge there from Atomica, trying to put enough damage down to burst out Shadowgream, but he's just so far behind. Will flash away, just about lives, and Enigma jumping in at the last second to secure that kill. Nice play from Atomica, honestly, knowing that his jungler was there to back him up. Somewhat surprised that the Q did hit. When he flashed across the wall, it looked like it was going to shorten before, but it just got tagged by the edge. And it is Luden's Lissandra, which... Is it good in this game? Maybe. There are some people you can burst out, but I don't know. I think maybe just the extra CC that would have been provided from the Frost thing. What is it called? From the Everfrost. Might have just been better. Sure, you're short range, but you are going to have two people running into practically melee range of you. It will help keep you alive against champions like the Darius. The extra health could be extremely impactful. But it is the Ludens. Enigma has, I think that's Blue Cane. I mean, yeah, it's red on the screen, but that's because, you know, Riot disobeyed one of their literal rules of creating champions and champion skins again, of don't make them confusing. Each champion skin should have a specific profile and look a specific way. And then it's like, yes, okay, well, Kane's big things about swapping forms are he goes red or blue. Let's just swap them around because, you know, turn our brains off. Yeah, that is blue Kane. Wasteland jumping in here to try and save his mid laner, but Enigma just does so much damage at this point. The one thing I will say about the blue Kane pickup in this situation is it's not going to help much against the Darius. And Darius is the big problem on the team right now. Oh, but Tomika walks straight into Sleepless. He will just use that claw to get across the wall to safety. And no harm done. In the end, we'll challenge for some of these Raptors. Managed to get the big one for Raka. And Raka did go for the gun second. What the hell is that called? I can never. The collector. That's what it's called. Raka went for the collector second. Don't really agree. I'll tell you what. Who's the biggest problem on the enemy team you need to kill? Biggest problem on the enemy team you need to kill is the Darius. What does the Darius build? He builds the 2 bruiser items that he needs, and then he goes full tank. And if that's the person that you're gonna have trouble killing, but Atomic are actually quite out a bit here. The fear lasts so long that he can't take the follow-up on the claw, which means that he will go down. Yeah, essentially I would have preferred to see Lord Doms. I think it's Lord Doms. I still don't remember a lot of the item changes they made. Essentially one that does fuck ton of armor pen and a load of bonus damage for the enemy having bonus HP, which of course Darius has built a lot of. That would really help with taking down this Darius. And honestly, would help with both Viego and Ash. But fight over the dragon, and it is stolen by Enigma. Sleepless smites very early on. That makes it 2 for 2 on the Drakes. That buys a lot of time for Arc to keep scaling. Ren finally hitting that level 13, starting to get those items will become more and more tanky as the game goes on. Of course, we want to see after this which of the items is going to get upgraded next. You usually do it on the people that you expect to carry hardest, or the people that you want to give those extra stats to. Ren just pushing up a little bit there, not respecting the fact Wessel could be around. A really nice buffer on the W means that she won't get pulled back, but it might not be enough. Oh my god, the Noxian Guillotine just doing about 1,000 true damage there. Like, Darius hasn't even built, like, true damage items. And it's just basically using, like, Cho'Gath monster ultimate, but on another champion. Like, oh, and there's all the CC onto Raka's Misfortune, and she will go down. Scylla tried to do what she could, but it was not enough. Will also fall in the end. And with 3 members down, this is going to be incredibly hard for Atomica and Enigma to defend. But it looks like Paper Squad just happy to back away from this one, probably move towards this Baron. With Raka down, the only real fed member on the enemy team, they could definitely start this one up. Enigma might decide to try and go for the hero play to steal this one. Is behind the pit. Knows it's being done, but they're trying to turn it around. Bard's ultimate is missed. The sleep yet again. It just lasts so long. There's Tomek can't do anything. We're really starting to feel like he should have gone Merc Treads or had some tenacity in the runes. Yeah, I think if I'm against Vex in the future, I might just go fucking tenacity runes. Like, that fear is really long. How long is that? Is that like a second and a half or something? The fear scales with level. Of course it does. Because why wouldn't it? It's kind of weird. I felt like she really didn't need the fear to scale up. Thanks, Vex, for saying whatever to me saying that. Yep. I mean, probably don't need it to scale up, but that's fine. It is a quite sizable gold lead right now for the side of Paper Squad. They have got way more towers on the map, but it is equal on Drake's. I'll have to see what Paper Squad managed to do next. Enigma off to the side. I don't think that they know he's there. He's found Wasteland. There's a miss on the W. Will clear out that ward. Not much more. Arc, of course, are happy to just continually scale. At this point, Darius is probably at the strongest point he's going to be in the game. Just unlocked that rank 3 ultimate, is on 3 items, the 3 core bruiser items that make them practically unkillable. And meanwhile, Arc, surely you just want to keep upgrading. I'm sure Ren has upgraded some stuff, but Spectator must be bugged. Yeah, it's not. There we go. We're gonna have to go through to check. Ah, there, it's updated now. So I did upgrade Rakka's item first, giving the MF that extra damage, although as we have seen, Paper Squad are only really going for that full engage when they do catch the MF with the CC. Vessel has been just left in the top lane and he will take that tower. Arc happy to. Oh no, Tomka just steps way too far forwards. Will surely get taken down on this one, ending up having to flash away. Wessel jumping under the tower, but yep, he's not even really built any MR and he just takes 0 damage. A fight going on here. Sleepless jumping onto Rakka. No one's there to defend the AD carry. Does go down. Sleepless might be taken out by Enigma in the end. That does give the smite advantage to Arc, but Enigma's got to find a way to get into the pit to take it. The Dragon's nowhere near low enough. Flashing out. Could jump back in, but it looks like maybe he's going to go for it. Shadow Green failing the flash across the wall. Enigma in trouble. Tries to go back in. Honestly, was that worth it? It wasn't Soul Point. Scales to level 1. 1.2, 1.5. Yeah, I mean... Ah. Yes, of course, with the no vision flash sideways. I don't know. Of course, interestingly enough, if Paper Squad can't really get anything off of this inhib being down, then Battle Queens have a really nice way back into the game through just funneling all of this minion XP into their members. Of course, especially remember with each level Renska gets now, she's getting approximately 1,000 bonus gold for her team on a very strong champion when you get towards the later game. Pretty much just have to remember if you're on a team with Ornn, you know what? If we keep stable through the early game, we're just going to start out scaling them. Here comes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. It's not dodged away from it again. Scylla has to jump in, but it's not there in time. I'm starting to think maybe Raka needs a QSS. Raka is getting hit by a lot of these arrows, and that is primarily when she's dying. Meanwhile, Baron is just being started up. Shadow Cream and Wasteland are zoning away, and you see the power of lifesteal this season, which apparently is not overtuned. In that, two characters who have built basically no defense whatsoever can duo the Baron. And Enigma in a lot of trouble. Actually almost manages to pick up Sleepless. I think the burn would have picked him up there if he hadn't had the passive. Oh no, Atomica in trouble. Can't get over the wall. We'll just try and buy some time with the stopwatch. And the ultimate. The stun will go down. That's a few more seconds. And the rest of Battle Queen's left to try and defend it, but Wessel's come around. Raka is caught again and trying to move backwards and kite, but just there's no real way to do that. Ren and Scylla have to defend with the help of Enigma, but what can they really do here in the 3v5? They're just so far behind at this point. The Baron minions coming in. It's hard to see how they can defend this one. Atomica is coming back up soon. Looks like Paper Squad instead is just going to go for the triple inhib. Take it back, get that final gold boost, maybe try and find one more fight to win the game. I will say for the side of Battle Queens that at least it's not L to the next one. They can just give away that Drake. Wait and keep farming these minions for as long as possible. Get themselves as far ahead as possible. Interestingly enough, you see it's the Grievous Wounds as the next thing picked up by Raka. Ren level 16 now. One level away from having upgraded everyone, I think. Interesting enough, decided to leave Atomica for last. Is that right? I'm not sure. Atomica is pretty much the only AP damage you have on the team. Actually, that's so strange. Sleepless as well, building a Wit's End. Apparently very scared of the Lissandra damage. But they found Enigma yet again. There's the Bard ultimate coming out. Is Atomica going to try and save him? He should just leave his jungler to die here. Yes, Atomica running away. Oh, but there's the hit on Scylla. Shadow Green getting in. That will probably kill Atomica. Yep, jumping forwards. Ren and Scylla now trying to provide the peel for Raka. This is a possible setup to defend with it very hard, but the two tanks, they've got to get in front of Raka. They have to keep Raka alive. Raka's got to be able to free hit here. Scylla making her way over to Raka, but Ren just can't get there, and the towers will go down, and that will be game one, going over to the side of Paper Squad. And a fairly clean game towards the mid and late from Paper Squad. Picking up game one in this series. And yeah, will Paper Squad continue the 1-1? I mean, there's not too much to say. It's weird to say what kind of went wrong in that game. The early kill onto the Darius was a real problem. As well, it felt like Vex was just a big problem for them. They didn't really know how to play around it. Can Paper Squad win? Or will they get their third tie? Ooh, it's time to see. Coming in very soon. My brain needs to work and tell me what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I need to put the next VOD in, ready to go. That's what we need. Vexash is a good combo buff, also one target and burst it down. I mean, to be honest, that's true with any skill shot ult plus Ash. I think it's more Vex is quite strong and Ash allows her to hit her skill shots. Oh. Here we go, so we see some swap ups going into game 2. We may as well jump straight there. We can have a little chat about what we've got going on. So Paper Squad this time on the blue side, and Arc Battle Queens on the red side. Wessel in the top lane has not got his hands on Darius again. This time he has set, but he has taken the flash and the ignite. So I have to see whether Battle Queens notice that and try and punish it by using the TP effectively. Sleepless in the jungle has Ghost on the Olaf, so potentially going to try and run people down. Happy to not have the flash. Again, something potentially could be punished, especially in that early game where there is no um, Ragnarok on him. Shadow Green playing a longer range mage with yet more skill shots on the Xerath. Talolat will be playing Ezreal with Cleanse, and Wastelad will be playing the Yuumi support, Exhaust and Heal. A big fan of that, not potentially needing the Ignite. Especially if you're going to go Revitalize, Heal, then even more effective. When we look over at the other side, I mean, let's talk about this composition. They basically have a composition where Set and Olaf want to run forwards really fast. Ezreal can potentially follow up, especially with the Yuumi on him, or the Yuumi could just go onto Olaf or Set. Xerath, a bit of the oddball here, will try and provide covering fire, I guess, using the ultimate from the backline, and just hoping no one can jump onto him and kill him. Meanwhile, when we compare it, with the side of Arc, Renska in the top lane playing Mordekaiser, does not have Ignite, has Teleport, so hopefully we'll try and use the fact that it has that pseudo health advantage early to get off a nice back, but we'll see. Enigma has Xin in the jungle. Atomica is playing Sylas in the mid lane. Don't know about the Sylas into Xerath matchup. I would expect that to be quite hard for the Sylas. Also not the best ults for him to steal. Interesting choice. Could take the Ragnarok to be able to just go forwards, and also Atomica having the TP as well. Sylas hopefully will see some teleport plays coming out. Meanwhile, this time Raka has the Ash, and so will be providing the support on Leona. So Arc Battle Queen's also having some beefy frontline in Mordekaiser, Xin, Leona. The backline in the Ash to provide that follow-up damage. Just gonna move the screen a bit because it was flashing, I noticed. And I mean, yeah, not too much else to really say about that one, I guess. We'll just start up the game. Why not? This is Worlds, correct? Yes, of course. This is Worlds. I also need to turn on the desktop audio. Let's not forget about that. That would be useful so we can hear the in-game sounds, the beautiful in-game sounds. You ever notice Yumi's models basically airy? When she was moving, it was basically just Ares model flying alongside her. Airy, an interesting choice. Can be quite good if you're jumping off to do a lot of poking, but that's very risky into something like a Leona, because if you ever move within flash distance of the Leona, you should die. especially something like Leona and Ash, where Ash has a Hail of Blades. Personally, I quite like Guardian on Yuumi, because when you're on top of someone, Guardian will always proc on them. So it's just quite a nice thing to have. Um, Basically blocking damage off cooldown without you even needing to be near, because, you know, you're sitting on top of them. A couple of early wards coming out, trying to spot if there's any invades. Um, Olaf into Xin. You kind of expect the Olaf to win, but often can be closer than expected. Both junglers getting a leash on the bottom side of the maps. Looks like Enigma's clear a fair bit slower, but that's somewhat to be expected. Atomica taking the chains first, not the Q, is an interesting start. I don't know if that's normal when in a matchup like into Xerath. I kind of would have expected the Q just for the easier farming. But we don't see that. Level 2 hit by Project Wessel first. Renska will get pulled in with the Facebreaker, forced to flash, and that's very unfortunate. Does get the Ignite out of the set, but that will be up fairly early. Well, it's not too long until that will be coming back up, and that puts Renska in a really awkward position here in this top lane. See, Atomica taking a lot of skill shots, but... Oh, there is the CC onto the Yuumi. Racket is following up on this one. Not quite enough damage to kill the Yuumi. We can see how incredibly low the cat was taken because of that. That's some nice damage from Ren, but has to be careful. Is on very low health right now. Kind of expect Ren to pick up what she can and then take it back. For some reason we're watching bot lane rather than top. But Enigma has found Wessel. Just has to be able to dodge the W when used to flash away. Wessel will be able to keep safe here. Meanwhile, what? Oh, Tonka tries to go in and get stunned. Jumping onto Shadowgream, a lot of damage going out. Meanwhile, top lane. Wessel will pull back. A nice pull from Renska into the tower, but they walk into the damage there. I don't know if Ren can follow that one up. The minion damage. The 3 auto attacks there. Just doing too much damage, and any more hits from either of them could have turned that one around. So close at the top there. And 2 kills onto this set. That's very unfortunate. Missed as well how Wasteland got there. You go. There's the flash in from the Leona. They should be able to easily pick up this kill. Raka having to flash forwards from it, but will pick it up in the end. Talonat now putting in a lot of damage into Raka, but should be able to heal up with the pot. Scylla trying to go in again, extremely aggressive considering the health difference. Ezreal also with the Arcane Shift can make that one very awkward. Ren here starting out with the boots against the Iron Spike Whip, and ooh, again there's double buffs on the enemy top laner. It honestly feels bad to be Ren this series. Twice your jungle has pathed towards the top lane, and twice the enemy top lane has ended up with double buffs early on. Sleepless looking for potential gank in the bot lane maybe, or is just looking to take this dragon. Enigma is up near the top here. That is the W used early from the set. They could potentially get something good here. There's the knock up. Nice shutdown, and just like that, this Mordekaiser's back in the game. There is no teleport on the set, so could choose to try and push for a plate here, or could just take the back. It's a good timing. But jumping forwards here, Sleepless does not have the Ragnarok, but there's no flash on Raka. Raka will go down. No real chance there to use the heal to dodge anything with the speed buff. there's a lot of CC going down into Shadow Green. This is a lot better from Battle Queens this game as they're using this Xin really well. Ren sticking around to get that plate. Should just be able to reset now. But an early Mountain Drake pickup, very nice for the side of Paper Squad, getting something back. And Double Buffs is now on this Mordekaiser. It's level 6. She should just ult him probably. Won't ult him in the end. Ren needs to back. Sitting on 1,500 gold. That's a big item difference right now. Ren, just back. I know the lane state's not great, but you can't push it in at this point. Because she stayed to try and push it. It'll be an issue, and there's the dunk back towards the tower. Is not quite inside it. Does take the W to the face. Will go down in the end. Double buff transfer complete yet again. Top lane is just trading this double buff back and forwards. And Ranska is just way too greedy there. Honestly, not taking the back when she had the chance means that that's another kill going into the pockets of the set. Did have to use the ignite yet again. It's a stun down onto the Yuumi, a lot of damage put in. This might be another kill onto the cat. Cat will go down in the end. Ultimate from Xerath. Not quite in range. And Atomica, yet again, getting the knock up onto Shadow Green. Actually showing that this can be quite a decent matchup for the Sylas, if you can get those engages. Meanwhile, both junglers taking a fairly gank-heavy focus, but Olaf with the by far quicker clear. Battle Queen's actually ahead by about 500 gold right now, most of that sitting in the bot lane's pockets yet again, looking at this bot lane to see whether they're able to carry. Ren, lane state in a really awkward position yet again, forced to just walk up and take so much damage to the face. Not sure the flash was needed there, but Renska does flash away. Could have just continued walking, maybe baiting Enigma in. Enigma's going in for this fight. A lot of damage being put, needs to dodge the W when it comes out. Nice flash away to dodge it, but that's a lot of damage going down. I think the ult might have just been used too late, and Renska was not in range to really follow up on that one. It's absolute disaster. And Atomica, unfortunately, face-checking the Olaf at the wrong time. They're forced to walk away. Will get their heal. Tries to put enough damage into the Olaf to trade it back. Won't do in the end. Shadow Green actually taking 2 tower shots. I mean, no teleport on the Mordekaiser is a terrible time to die as well. And what do you do in this situation? I'm not even sure. Maybe, honestly, you'd be better off just swapping, sending your bot lane to try and match the set, and your Mordekaiser to just survive in the Ezreal Yuumi lane, because it should be a lot easier to survive there. At this rate, because you don't really want to be going up against that set after he finishes his item. Not quite finished yet, but still going to be doing a hell of a lot of damage. Oh, Enigma looks like Talalat and Wasteland might face check this. Yuumi going in, there's a knock up. Enchanted Crystal Arrow and quick kill picked up. Talalat left to just farm under this tower. Not really too much they can do. They could potentially try for the tower dive here, but there is the cleanse on the Ezreal. Does make it very awkward to attempt. Enigma just going to try and take the enemy Krugs. Wow. Rift Herald is getting picked up by the Olaf. Interesting, Ren did stick around in that top lane. There was the potential of the tower dive. They should know right now top lane is gone. Jungle just took the Herald. There's a real possibility of this gank. Tomoka in a lot of trouble, will get hit by all of those because he just needs to make as much room as possible. Tries to turn it around. Ragnarok picked up, but not going to do anything. And he will go down in the end. Looks like they might be looking to use this Herald top, mid lane. Not sure whether that one's really worth it. Wrestle putting out a lot of damage. Dodge out from Raka, but they just don't really have the damage to win this fight. Raka flashing away. Yuumi now coming in, and Faber scored with just more members there. No teleport coming out from Ren. And yeah, Paper Squad in a commanding lead right now. Almost 3,000 gold ahead. Most of that I expect being on the set right now, with a lot on the Olaf as well. Pretty much the entire lead on the set and Olaf. The rest of the map actually ahead for Battle Queens. So, top of the map versus bottom of the map right now. Which is stronger? Well, you know, the top of the map is more ahead for Paper Squad than Battle Queen's bottom of the map is, and also Bruiser's stronger than anything else in the game. On the current patches, they are finally nerfing some of the Bruiser items, so we should see a nice change in the meta. And yeah, we do enter a bit of a slow phase of the game. It is an Infernal Soul, so a lot more damage being added on the side of whoever gets it. Quite an annoying soul if you're a champion that can get bursted out. If you're Battle Queens, you're probably just happy it's not Ocean at this point, although you're going to pick up. Oh, but there's the engage going down onto Raka. Scylla knows there's no saving the Ashe here, and will just walk away. Yet again, Raka not getting to use the heal. A lot of damage thrown out from Shadow Gleam into Atomica. Will try and use that ultimate to finish him. It's not quite enough. Here comes Sleepless and Wessel, though. I think it's the second 4-man in mid. Atomica was somewhat winning that matchup early after the early ganks from Enigma, but not anymore. 3-man and a cat. It sounds like the name of a really bad comedy or something. Ren, meanwhile, just been kind of farming up in this top lane, trying to survive. Not really sure what... I mean, at this point, you're kind of so far behind on the Mordekaiser. Your use is to ult someone and keep them out of the fight as long as possible. I mean, realistically, the best thing you can do probably on the Mordekaiser is you ult whoever Yumi's on top of to get her away. Oh, but Scylla's coming in. Talalat might be in trouble here. Ultimate used. But Talalat will just cleanse out of that one. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, there's no cleanse left. Flash away from the Ezreal. And the final chapter used by the Yuumi as well. I'm not sure whether Sleepless win this 1v3. Is trying to turn it around. There's a lot of healing coming out from the Olaf. There's the ultimate from the Xerath, putting a lot of damage into Scylla. Oh, just dodges. Only just managing to stay alive on the Leona. She's sticking around, ready to give her life to help her team secure that kill or stay alive. And still damage just being traded in this mid lane. Ren, I was about to say, somehow still has this outer tower left alive, but goes down there. Ah, only 3 Bloodthirsters in this game. Now, a part of me did wonder if you could get away with building Bloodthirster on supports, because of just how strong it is. I suppose you'd need a support that somewhat scales from AD. You could maybe do it with like a Scion or something. But here they found the Olaf, but has the Olaf found them? Turning it around, trying to get the kill onto Scylla. Will pick up 1 in return. Talon maybe a little bit far up. Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes wide. Enigma jumping forwards. Should be able to get this knock up. But Raka with the step backwards, maybe missing out on an auto attack or so. Ezreal ultimate stolen and will pick up the kill. Shadowgreen running forwards onto Enigma. But Enigma will just use that ultimate to keep himself alive. Is trying to jump onto the Xerath. Will give his life to interrupt that, although I'm not sure how worth that was. Raka, meanwhile, caught. And down he goes. If you went 15-0, you would have gotten Brolaf. Oh. I feel like, isn't Brolaf if you go like 0-0 and 15? Just straight up, you don't die, and you get 15 assists? Being the true bro, giving your team all the kills? But the Ragnarok is popped, and Olaf just going for this 1v1. Scylla is here to back up, trying to put a lot of damage down, but it's not enough in the end. Ragnarok means none of that CC will help out. And now Sleepless probably just going to run Scylla down as well. But Enigma is here, will jump in. Incredibly close, actually. This Scummy team doesn't want to give you free skins. 1v1 from Talalat and Raka, but the minion wave is also here to help the Ezreal. Shadowgream as well, just coming through the tower with the help of the cats. And they will pick that one up in the end. Somehow Atomic at the same level as the set. I suppose the set has been roaming, so lost out on quite a bit of XP in the top lane. Papers got a lot further ahead early in this game than they were in the previous one. And this does put them in a very firm contention for that 4th spot in playoffs if they win this game. Might actually put them in contention for more if they can take wins off of the other top teams. They're close enough that a win against another top team should put them ahead. Ooh, who does the blue go to? It is given over to the Olaf. I mean, see, this is where you don't get Brolaf, clearly. A true bro would allow his mid laner to refresh the blue buff before his blue buff had even run out. But anyway, it looks like Rift Herald being picked up here. The side of Paper Squad is only the 2nd Rift Herald will be used on an inner tower. So how worth it is quite suspect. Enigma actually caught out here, but we'll just walk out of that one. Ezreal ultimate will catch onto a lot. There's the ultimate from the Xerath, forcing the same one out from Xin. Is it legal to use drugs before a collar game to improve your performance? Let me think about this. Terms of service. Am I allowed to say yes? For the sake of terms of service, no, drugs are bad, you should not use them. I'm assuming terms of service I'm not allowed to say yes, I don't know. I think we're allowed to say you can take as much copium and hopium as you want. Of course, just pick all of that up especially if you're a Battle Queens fan right now, pick up that copium. Give yourselves a big long inhale and see what you do. If you're on the, if you like Paper Squad, Hopium. They've they've been drawing a decent amount so far, and they might be just picking up their first win here. Starting the Baron, they're turning around. Wessel is somehow behind the team. Who's he going to flip in? Doesn't actually flip anyone because of the nice stuns. Arc Battle Queen's looking to turn this one around. They just leave Ren to die. Sleepless running straight at them. Poor Ren. I feel like Ren chose someone to take out of the fight, and then the rest of the team just ran away. Ezreal ultimate doing so much damage. Raka can't get away over the wall there. Left a 3 to try and defend. But, yeah, Set can still, flip someone back into the team. There's still the Set and Scylla jumping in. You got to appreciate the attempt. There's the flip from Atomica back into the team, doing a lot of damage. Actually does take one down. That's really big. Scylla jumping back in for that short CC to try and give Enigma a chance to pick up some more kills. Enigma will go down in the end. Raka back alive, but now in a 1v4 to try and help out. Well, Ren and Raka alive now in the 2v4. Try and save the game. They will keep one Nexus turret alive. Not on much health, but it is alive. Very important because it means you can't just have like an Olaf run down your Nexus. Should be very hard to stop, but Soul will get picked up, which of course makes this incredibly hard. And there's no anti-heal right now. I feel like I know you just had to build anti-heal like straight away. You ought to do some casting again, yeah, if you want to come cast sometime. Feel free. We're not like some super professional league, so you don't have to like be any good at it. If you go back and look at some of the extremely old VODs, you'll find we have people on that are like, they'll say like 2 or 3 things a game, and that'll be it. And they'll be like, yeah, sure. You want to come? You want to give a opinion once or twice a game? Eh, why not if we've got no one else who wants to? Like Titus, I mean Titus had his own game, so Enigma 1v1ing this Baron. Oh, I mean this is Sleepless. This is just rude. Come on. Why you interrupt a 1v1 like this? A true Brolaf there would walk in and allow, for the sheer balls of attempting that, would allow Enigma to finish his 1v1 on the Baron before killing him. Obviously, that is the correct play there. This is why you don't get the Brolaf skin. You're not thinking like a Brolaf yet. Anyway, all memes aside, Paper Squad pretty much have this game in the bag. Let's be honest. Tomica stealing the Olaf ult. Ready to go. I mean, if Arc somehow get the team fight win here, they're still in the game. Can they do it from 10,000 gold down? I'm somewhat doubtful. But the engage comes out. Wessel is in the backline, a lot of damage. He flips away. Actually with no one. The entire team just dies. Raka left alive. We'll just try and stay alive inside. The fountain gets 1. Gets 2. Some nice stat padding. Brolaf screams your mum when he dies, so you have to have it. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, truly rude, though, from Sleepless to interrupt the 1v1 against the Baron. But Paper Squad will take game 2, and their first win um, actually does put them, I think, in third? Does it put them in third? Probably. I don't know, shit. I can update the scores right now, in fact, and then have a look. And then we sort this by this. Oh, I could even show this, actually. Probably will draw screen. Do I have this set up right? There we go. You can actually see here's the scores. This is very piecemeal because, yeah, whatever. But you can see that does Paper Squad with 4 games played in 4th place. About halfway through. It's a nice solid place to be. And challenging for some of those top places, Noxian Crusade, of course, if they drop this series. Paper Squad will only be 1 point behind. If Noxian Crusade draw the series, Paper Squad are only 2 points behind. Both of those would mean a win would put them ahead. Yeah. Arc Battle Queens, it does drop them just out of that playoff spot. Arc Ghost Hopium. Arc Ghost dropped out, so, you know, they just have, yeah, they just go. Can you start in 5 minutes? Yeah, sure, yeah, we can start in 5 minutes. Might be a little longer because you've got to give me time to set up stuff, and let me have a very short break. So let's say 5 minutes, but I'll basically be setting up stuff within 5 minutes, and you could get invites to the lobby within 5 minutes, but you have to give me time to set up the draft and things. And yeah, put out an announcement that the game's happening slightly early. But yep, here, have a listen to whatever nice music is playing right now, because I've never worked out how to let myself listen to it while the stream can hear it without it echoing. But I'll see you back in about 5 minutes for Noxian Crusade versus Solari for essentially first place. Okay, we're practically ready for the next series between Noxian Crusade and Crescent Solari, both of these sitting near the top of the table. Very important game because it's basically going to decide which of these is ahead when it comes towards that first seed for playoffs, which could be very important because it looks like we have a lot of strong teams, and first seed for playoffs will get the choice between third and fourth seed as to who they face. So extremely important, yeah, basically. Sorry, just giving the links to the teams while while I'm trying to speak at the same time. Quite hard to do. So I think a very interesting place to watch here will be the bot lane with Fulminar and Svenno up against Narcissistic and Rise Suffix. And then we also have the rematch in the top lane between Vink and Titus. Vink having moved teams now. So that will be one to watch. Yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on. Keep trying to get everything ready. Yeah, just setting up the draft because I completely forgot what the good drafting site was called. So just give me a second while I copy these things into the chat for them. And then we'll keep getting straight in. See, usually people would be able to talk because we'd have multiple people here. Well, I say usually, but it's kind of hard when you're doing it by yourself, and I didn't have time to set up beforehand, so speaking while typing, hard to do without accidentally typing what you're speaking, which all sounds very, very strange, but there you go. Don't worry, trying it out. Okay. I mean, of course, whoever wins here, there's still Inferno to worry about. When is the next casting day? It'll be when a game is going, basically, and then I'll go and oh crap, we're straight into draft. We're going. Okay. Aha, thankfully that fits on perfectly. I do have it set up. Yeah, it'll be when a game's going. If you keep an eye on the Discord, you should be able to see in the stream schedule when one comes up. Also, if we know you're interested in casting, we should come and ask you when we have time, but these have been very last minute, and we only really like to ask with people we don't know when it's a live one, because we think the live ones are more fun to do, and it's easier to set someone up to try for the first time with something that's going on live rather than something that's already happened and is being done as a VOD. But we are straight into this big ban phase anyway. We'll start talking about that now. Noxian Crusade banning away Ezreal, they ban away Corki and Shen, so a lot of those, they ban away the safest ADC in the game, and they ban away quite a few global sort of globals with Shen the Corki. Meanwhile, we see CS banning away some of these hyper carry AD carries that are also quite safe and quite self-reliant, such as the Vayne, such as the Kai'Sa, and they ban away possibly one of the strongest enchanters in the Lulu. Noxian Crusade very quick to just pick up that Nunu, a favourite of Turalure, who will almost certainly be piloting that one in the jungle. CS answer with a Volibear. Volibear, a very flexible champion, of course, can be played in the jungle, not so common anymore, can be played top lane, also not so common anymore. Can be played support if you're adventurous, but you usually want to know the matchup before picking it for support, but could be flexed down there if it really needs to be. Also, AP Volibear actually can do a hell of a lot of damage and some very nice zoning, so you could always play it mid. Jin picked up just a nice strong AD carry, something that, well, it'll want some zoning to go with it, strong support to help keep it alive, but just getting something that's very comfortable. Well, we will be looking towards this bot lane matchup quite a lot. Late game scaling AD carry being picked up by Noxian Crusade, that is the Sivir coming out. We'll have to see whether they go for the older attack speed builds or if they're going to take in towards the lethality, which a lot of people do now, mostly relying on that boomerang to do the majority chunk of damage. But I kind of expect it will be the attack speed build, and we expect to see Svenno put on Enchanter duty yet again. It will be the Nami. Nice strong Enchanter, one that people are cottoning on to. Wait a second. Nami's E kinda fucking busted if my ADC knows how to use it. And a lot of people now picking up the Nami, starting to use it more. Would not be surprised to see a slight nerf coming into Nami's E in the near future. Oh yeah, swearing. If I forget sometimes. We try not to. But Thresh, a classic with the Jhin, something that not very mobile, can provide that extra mobility. Of course, not so great into the Sivir and the Nami, but definitely something that you can use to help out the ADC and keep him alive. And in the second ban phase, we see Noxian Crusade focusing towards the mid lane, banning away the Seraphine, something that Liz does like to play, so trying to get rid of some of those more supportive mid laners. CS counter with the Morgana, so not wanting that supportive mid lane themselves. Not quite sure what they want to ban up towards that top lane, so they do ban away the Garen. Noxian Crusade hovering the Teemo. Not sure if that's a bit of a troll or if they will be banning it in the end. Hovering the Yuumi, very unlikely, unless we're going to see some sort of solo lane Thresh, but it will be the Wukong that they ban. We'll have to see with Solari here whether they think that the best counter pick will be going towards top lane or mid, kind of assuming it will be the Volibear jungle. They could flex up towards the top lane if they think the matchup's fine and they want to get a strong jungler, of course. But it looks like they will just take that scaling mid laner in the Orianna, something that tends to be fairly safe, with the extra speed up on the W. That's a late game scaling mid laner in the Veigar. Very AB sec. I'm not sure when the last time we saw a Veigar was, maybe last season. And the Gnar as well locked in for a very big team fight presence, something that they're happy to just kind of scale up through that early game and then try and make a big difference with Irelia as being hovered as the answer. Will they pick the Irelia? They are going for that counter matchup, making the Irelia into the Gnar. Of course, very strong counter matchup. Just letting the teams know they can start up the draft and get into the game as soon as they are both ready. So I think the places you really want to watch out here for, we kind of don't expect too much to happen in this bottom lane. Maybe you get something early from the fact that you have a Nami or you have a Thresh, both of which can provide that catch potential early. Don't forget, Nami's E, if the AD carry uses it correctly, can provide close to like 3 seconds worth of slows, as well as a lot of extra damage. Whereas Thresh, of course, with the hook, can potentially catch out this fish and cause a lot of issues. The other place to look up is up towards this top lane. We expect Irelia to win into the Gnar, which, yeah, that could be a very hard matchup. I'll be interested to see, because we thought, obviously, this would be a bot lane focused game, but that's a lot of, that's a very big counter pick in the top lane. I wouldn't be surprised to see junglers looking towards there to try and either help Vink out on this Gnar, or to just give Titus the ability to snowball on the Aurelia, really put the Gnar behind, and get their own top lane ahead. Of course, Veigar not a particularly safe champion either, something else that you could look to gank. They don't have the biggest front line for the side of Solari, but putting a lot of eggs into their top lane snowball, I feel like. Aside of Noxian Crusade, I mean, you look at their team and you basically go, this is a team who've gone, we don't think that you can end the game early. We're going to scale until 40 minutes and then we're going to beat you. So I have to see how that really goes for them. Of course, I can confirm for you everything, or I can now confirm for you that everyone is playing the champions you would expect. It is the Gnar top lane, it is the Nunu jungle, Veigar mid, Sivir AD carry, Nami support, and for the other side it is Aurelia top, Volibear jungle, Orianna mid, Jhin AD carry, Thresh support. Something else we can consider early on is, do we really expect there to be any invades coming out? You could do. The slight issue, while you have the Thresh hook, the follow-up after the Thresh hook is not particularly strong from the side of Solari. Whereas Noxian Crusade do have that Sivir Boomerang, which of course will do a lot. And Nami W, if she elects to take W first, which is a very common skill order first, because of course in a duo lane can provide you with 2 heals and 2 procs of damage, or even the bubble. You wouldn't really expect Noxian Crusade to be doing any invading here. I think it'd be a big surprise if they did come out with an invade. And I was about to say, and we're going into the game, but I forgot there's a 3-minute spectator delay as well. Yes, perfect. Time to wait. Anyone played Vex yet? Yes, we had a Vex in Paper Squad versus Valor Queens. I think we had one earlier as well. Is Vex 100% win rate? It definitely won earlier today. It was very strong, but it did sort of look like people just weren't used to playing against it yet, which is kind of understandable from what I've seen. For some reason, Vex is being banned a lot more than any new champion, and every time I've seen it played or played against it, hasn't really seemed like that much of a problem. So I'm not too sure where all the bans are coming from, if people just find it annoying or personally have heard it strong. But yeah, it's always interesting because, of course, part of the reason we say you can't play in the first couple of weeks is that people have a chance, or Riot have a chance to balance it. That's the official line we give you. So Riot have a chance to attempt to balance their releases, because they always release them either incredibly strong or incredibly weak for some reason. Closer to the truth, so it gives people a chance to play the champion and play against it and get a feel for how it is. Because we expect any actual needed changes to the champion are either going to be done straight away by Riot, or they're not going to be done for like 4 weeks afterwards, because Riot are going to be like, ah yes, the champion's strong, but we want everyone to play it, so let's not nerf it yet. That seems to happen all too often, to be honest. But yeah, Vex actually not being bad in this game, but not being picked up. I feel like both. Neither mid laner here really valuing that champion. Not valuing it too highly anyway. "30 seconds left on the spectator delay, then we'll be straight into the game." So the interesting thing, we don't have a boring tank v tank matchup in the top lane. How much do you think spectator cam's gonna look up there? I'm gonna guess it's going to focus a lot on the bottom lane, where there might be practically nothing happening, or mid, because we don't really expect much to happen in mid. To be honest, if Liss is really feeling himself on the Orianna, could try and pressure mid a lot. As long as Liss has those deep wards, fairly safe to do so. You just need the very deep wards so you can see the Nunu coming, be ready to walk out the other side so that the snowball won't catch up to you. So what do we see? Vink on the Gnar is going Grasp, not starting with the fleet footwork. Of course, that's just somewhat a personal choice. I do like the press the attack on the Volibear. Kind of implies that it's more of this gank style, or going to be going very much towards the ganking, providing that extra damage, the damage for your team. Comet on attack on Rat in the mid lane on the Veigar.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Ah, no sound. Nice. How long has there been no sound for? When did that turn off? Oh dear. The game. Oh well. As I was saying, lots of hype casting, and then what a shame. Crescent Solari fall behind off of that early sort of counter invade. They realize what's going on and they get the nice move back, but yeah, end up 2 kills going over to the side of Noxian Crusade. So this late game scaling comp getting early kills, of course, they'll be very happy with that. A lot of damage going down. Svenno being taken incredibly low. The Ignite is ticking, but it's not quite enough to finish the kill onto that Nami. There is no heal, so Svenno gets within 4th shot range, could just go down. Think, meanwhile, getting the slight better of these early trades. Suffix does not manage to interrupt that. Oh, they interrupt the back of Svenno. That could be fairly big. Very annoying to the Nami not being able to back. Looks like she will stick around now for her AD carry to come back to lane. Don't know whether Svenno has biscuits. Biscuits, of course, will mean it's not really impactful whatsoever. I have to see. Looks like they want to push this one in. Although, potentially a lane? Lane gank coming out here. Reddy's in the bush. There wasn't wards. They shouldn't know he's there. Stock out. There's a nice hook onto the fish. Narcissistic will stay alive. Reddy's coming in. They force the flash out from the Sivir. And that's all of the summoners out from the bot lane of Noxian Crusade. And really punishment coming out for the cold start here. Suffix's back being interrupted, neither support being allowed to back when they really want to. Titus has full stacks here on the Irelia. Vink just getting too close. The blade surges mean that Titus is able to follow up. Won't continue with this one, but Vink has to be very careful. That's a big wave, and if he gets too close, he might just get surged down. Stun. Just missing. Titus trying to fish for this. Really needs to just push this in to get it back. I will say Suffix Ryze's hooks. Should I call him Ryze or Suffix? I suppose there's no Ryze champion in the game, so I can call him Ryze. Ryze's hooks so far being pretty successful, managing to catch out the fish multiple times. Pull her in. Not managed to make any sushi out of her just yet, but with the summoners down, we'll have to wait and see if another hook will hit, and anything will be taken out of that. List, despite the early kill and assist going over to the Veigar, is managing to keep up in CS. Veigar just having that early tier and boots will make the lane quite a bit safer for him. Vink has come back with the Sheen. Provides a decent extra chunk of damage, but Vamp Scepter on the Irelia. Full stacks on the passive. Irelia will just try and heal up, of course, with the Vamp Scepter. Vink doing a good job of bullying so far. Meanwhile, Volibear actually with a bit of a quicker... Oh, but there's a stun onto Vink. He will go Mega. Does not manage to get the Nara into the wall. And Titus does get the ultimate out of the Gnar. Is trying to follow up now that Mini will be coming out very soon. Vink realistically, if he wants to try and punish this lane, will need to pick up anti-heal soon. More likely he's just gonna, try and stay even for as long as he can. Should be pretty happy so far that he's only slightly down in CS. Oh, but the hop away is not enough. He will get stunned. Titus decides, well, not to follow up on that one. Will actually get hit by the boomerang. I think really sort of just needs to take it back soon. Can only assume that he's waiting for a specific amount of gold, sitting on 1,100. Pretty much the perfect back to go get some plated steel caps, which of course would be very useful into a champion like Irelia. It's interesting that he's not backing yet. Not sure what he's waiting for. Maybe hoping that a gank will come out, but being taken quite low. Sees Reddy on the ward and will just back off Reddy here. Only really doubt Titus push that one in. There's the snowball coming out, and Liss just knew something was going on. The stuns come out, attack on Rat. Will not quite get it because of the phase rush. Liss able to just stay alive, perfectly happy with that one. And Vink is still in lane. And here comes Ready, tower disabled, Vink trying to flash away. Stun goes down, an easy pickup, just a bit too greedy, sticking around a bit too long on that low health. Will now go back, able to pick up the steel caps and an extra longsword for how long he stayed, but not sure you're happy about that one if you are the Gnar. Decent trade coming out from Svenno, but you kind of expect with the extra pots and the biscuits, it won't make a true difference. And somehow there's a massive trade going down in bot lane. Also in top lane, that's one kill picked up. The fish has gone down as well. Fulminaria in a lot of trouble. The spell shoot doesn't do anything. Narcissistic picking up the kill there. The bot lane of Solari getting ahead as well as the top lane. CoraL now trying to get away as well will also fall. An absolute disaster for the side of Noxian Crusade as... yeah, just kills across the board going over to the side of Crescent Solari. I will say that at some point Sivir will cash in that cull. And you have to remember that the cull is worth basically a kill of gold. So it's, you know, not the end of the world. Oh, aggro swapping a bit too much there, just resets that blue buff, wasting a bit of time. There's the hook in. A lot of CC being thrown down onto the Nunu, trying to pull him back, but he does get off the phase rush and will walk out of that one. Narcissistic not happy to just walk into 3 people by himself. A lot of damage thrown down into the Yeti. Nice sidestep from Vink there. Will get the hop across Aurelia's head, but that's just so much damage coming out. It's not really anything. You can see just how badly this matchup goes, and there you go. Yeah, this is why the Aurelia and Tanar matchup is considered such a counter. Narcissistic flashing out as the teleport comes in. And there's a big shockwave pulling 2 back, as well as the flay. Tirolo is here to try and follow up with the biggest snowball ever. Will hit onto Rise Suffix, but I'm not sure that's where they really want to be. The deadly, the curtains being opened up to put so much damage in. Turret turned off. Fish has made sushi out of Fulminari. Tries to get away, but double kill into the pockets of this Thresh, just collecting their souls. They will summon the Rift Herald. Maybe a little bit early. Not sure. Yeah, they should be able to get first turret out of that. Looks like the majority of the gold will be sent over to Liss. Tirolo will get towards this Drake in time, but whether he'll want to attempt the steal is another matter. Ready is fairly low. Goes over, of course, with the chomp. If he can get in range, he can potentially take that, and he does steal it. Absolute zero used to help keep himself alive, and he'll pick up the kill onto the volley bear as well. They're turning it around. Biggest snowball ever. They pick up a kill onto the Jhin. Rise Suffix left alive in the middle of 3. Nothing that he can do. 2 big shutdowns going into the pockets of the Vigar. Liss is here, but I'm not sure there's anything he can do. Can't pick up the kill onto the Nunu. Yet another kill going back across. And Noxian Crusade do manage to pick themselves up quite a bit of gold in return. But meanwhile, the disaster happening on the top lane as this, you now see why this is considered such a counter matchup. The matchup very quickly becomes practically unplayable as Gnar, as it has done. And now Noxian Crusade will be stuck trying to do something about this. Honestly, I find it quite interesting they decided to go with the Gnar blind. They probably should have known that he displays the Irelia, and you have to imagine at least one of them knew that it's a very hard matchup for the Gnar. But, I mean, hindsight. Oh, the cage, they do get a lot of damage going down onto the Irelia. She's looking to potentially turn it around. There's the damage, 2 more kills picked up into the pockets of the Irelia. Vink running away there. I wonder if he stayed and gnarred out, if they could have turned that. It's very hard to know because of the amount of healing was actually coming out of the Irelia and the amount of dodging she can do. There's the ultimate coming out of Liz, but they're trying to turn it around right now. Meanwhile, Titus is just forcing him down. Ignite used onto Liz now. The fish trying to take down the robot. Oh, but here's a bear. I mean, we're sticking to, the food chain. Bears love salmon. So, I'm not entirely surprised. Narcissistic walking in here will just Gale Force pick up that kill. We see Sivir finishes the Gale Force now. Is on... Well, it's about 1,000 gold behind almost on the Jhin. Almost 6,000 gold lead for the side of Solari right now. And Nunu over J4 this game. Yeah, the Nunu was a first pick. It's a bit of a comfort for CoraL. Really likes the Nunu. Nunu can be a very strong champion, but unfortunately, there's not too much to say about this game, to be honest. The bot lane seems like the 2 bans that were thrown there really weakened them power-wise, and top lane there was a horrible counter matchup. Maybe just... I mean, we'll say this much. Next game, I think Nox is going to have a much better idea of how to approach the draft phase. And they'll be able to save the counter matchup, so they'll be able to make sure at the very least that they don't have something unplayable in top. I mean, the difference on how unplayable Gnar into Irelia is, I probably would have praised them if they had lane swapped and put the Veigar top and the Gnar mid as a, you know what, we know that the Gnar can't play this past like level 3. Let's give Gnar at least a way to get gold without dying. But there we go. Second Herald was picked up. Irelia just farming her own jungle right now. Still on the about 50 CS lead. TP coming in from Orianna. Not sure how required that was, but I mean, guess can pick up mid. CoraL looking for another steal. Will Hex Flash in, can't quite get in range for that steal. Absolute zero use, but instantly interrupted. They'll give the kill over to Narcissistic's Jhin. Vink in a lot of trouble. Nice side steps as before, but Irelia doesn't need to hit skill shots. Especially not when she's 2 full items ahead. And Fulminare actually going for the kill, but the extra bonus HP from the Volibear ultimate keeps him alive. thought Svenno might walk up there, and that would have been one dead fish. Yeah, it's kind of hard what to say about this game because you could say maybe Vink shouldn't have died so much, but then also what are you expecting happens? Vink doesn't contest a single wave. Sure, he doesn't die to the Irelia load, but maybe Irelia's now on 200 CS by this point and Vink's on 30. And then you're still in a position where your Nar's just not able to do anything. The good news is with Gnar, he can always get that big ultimate, throwing everyone into the wall. So it's not a complete disaster, and especially with the scaling of the Veigar and the Sivir, Noxian Crusade do always have a way back into this game. It's not like the game is over by any means. We may be staring at an 8,000 gold lead pre-20 minutes, but Veigar, you know, can scale up. In fact, what's the AP on Veigar right now? He's sitting on 132 sacks, 250 AP. Not the largest, but still scaling for sure. And the one Drake that was stolen means this will take longer for a soul to be acquired. I hope some anti-heal is picked up soon. Just because otherwise, how do you ever kill the Irelia? She's gone double lifesteal. Baron actually being started up being 2-man, Narcissistic moving over as well. But they probably don't even need him. No, looks like they don't. Noxian Crusade either have no idea this is going on, or, you know, just there's a blue ward, they knew what was going on now. Ult used from the Orianna, but it won't pick up the Sivir. There's the curtain being called, but nice dodges from Fulminari will keep himself alive. You see there's just level differences almost across the board as well. And here is the slow siege now coming out from the side of Solari. CoraL will use the Chomp to help kill those minions. Noxian Crusade at this point just trying to lose the smallest amount that they can, which would probably be this one turret. There's no way they'd really be able to stop that one from falling. But it does look like Solari are somewhat happy to just back off after that one. Looking towards this Drake that doesn't spawn for another 45 seconds. Use their Barons for the quick backs, get back on the map with that extra gold. Almost a 10,000 gold lead. Suggestion for future break. Create a CoraL Pick'ems. That would be cool. Might do that with when playoffs come out. I need to find a way to make it fairly automated because I don't really have the time for people to put them in one by one. A lot of damage actually being thrown out onto Fulminari right there. The curtain call is used. They're just tagging right now. Oh, a big shockwave pulls in two. And Flash is being used to get out of that one. CoraL is in the pit, it's taken really low. He does manage to steal it, keeping his team in the game. But Irelia is here, jumping in. Flash across the wall from Fulminari. Looks like most of them will be able to stay alive. Svenno will be the sacrificial fish. Walking into the tower. We'll waste as much time as possible. Oh. Titus does not get the stun, but does interrupt Vink's back. Stun from attack on Rat does not hit onto Titus. That could have actually been the return kill if it did, which would have been 1,000 gold. Nunu into volley. You should have played Rammus instead. They first picked it, okay? Like they didn't get a choice. They put the priority on the Nunu as a comfort pick, but Turalur is turning around onto Liss right now, trying to get the kill onto the Orianna without the absolute zero, though that's about as much damage as can be done. That's 2 inhibitor turrets forced down, and Solari will now just back off and look to spend the extra gold that they did get. I will say Noxian Crusade doing a somewhat decent job of holding off the tide. A lot thanks to the efforts of Turalur on this Nunu. Has stolen 2 Drakes. And let's remember, without those 2 steals, which were literally him having to flash into the pit to steal them, they would also be facing an Ocean Soul right now. And I think Solari would just end if they had that Ocean Soul. So, hey, you can route on the pick all you like. It's kind of hard to say how much changing the pick would have actually helped or not. Collector picked up for the gen, just looking to ping some people down, pick them up with the extra damage. You can see Sterax on the Volibear, 3 items on the Irelia, looking quite strong right now. Unlikely to get bursted out. Oh, well, attack on Rat. Potentially in a lot of trouble. The cage not perfectly placed. He can run all he likes, but surely will get picked up by the Blade Surgeon. Eventually does look. Guess Titus actually not able to catch up for that one. There's the Shockwave pulling Turalur back, but they don't have the damage to finish that one. Three lanes being pushed in at once. Death Sentence going down onto 1. They're turning it around. Fulminare running forwards. They pick up 1 there. The extra damage. Titus will back off. A good defense coming out from Noxian Crusade will pick up 1. And actually causes Solari to back away. We can see that the Baron is being pinged. And it will be spawning very soon. Kind of expect that the attempted burst will come out from Solari. Expect them to want to do this Baron straight away. They don't have TP on the Orianna though. And it looks like Titus is just wanting to back off. He's getting his back down. Next Drake also spawning in 50 seconds, so could set up for this one. Noxian Crusade actually moving towards this Baron now themselves. They're just spotting that there's no one on it. Looking for the backs. Oh, they actually interrupt Turalur's back. That could be a... That might be incorrect. If they had allowed him to back, they could have just turned straight onto that Baron and no, there was no way for the Nunu to get there in time to stop or contest it. Gone for the turn when the rest of the team inevitably had to come. Turalur, though, in a really bad position right here. Death Sentence hits onto him. There's only 2 to try and take down this Nunu at the moment. Using the Phase Rush and the biggest snowball ever to try and get away. Really nice support cage there from attack on Rat to help Turalur escape. And he still has the flash up, so he can flash into the Dragon Pit and attempt the steal yet again. Titus is taking the dragon while the rest of the team goes towards the Baron. Turalur's not quite there in time to take it. That will be Soul Point for Solari, as they are also picking up this Baron. Looks like there's no real knowledge it's going on. Biggest snowball ever is being used in right now, but it will just put Tirilla in danger of going down. Has to flash away because of the Death Lotus. And nice dodges, will dodge away from all of those shots. And I'm not entirely sure what happened, but Sveno is in the enemy base and executing. Barely hear the casters. It is just me. But I'm not really sure how to make myself any louder, because then the audio is going to start peaking. Turn up my speakers. The audio will start peaking. They're on max. What do you want? Turn up the stream. I can't turn myself up more. I can turn the game sounds down. The other guy, there isn't another guy. It's just me. Anyway, Solari, with the commanding lead, should really have been able to end by now. They have picked up the Baron. They're not really doing too much with it. I mean, it's a little bit concerning when a team's not ending with such a big lead. And you have to start to be a bit worried when you're up against a Sivir Veigar team. That's a team that's going to keep scaling and not going to stop a Vink maybe a bit out of position, just trying to take the jungle. It's a lot of damage, and the Gnar will go down. That leaves the rest of the team to try and defend a 4v5. And Forminario will try and clear out the wave. Nice cage coming out. They've caught Narcissistic, but Tita's going into the backline. The curtain call is pulled out. They're trying to go onto the AD carry. They take him down. Both carries are down now for the side of Noxian Crusade. Tita will finish off the Nunu. Not quite the ward to allow that Blade Surge to pick that up. Sveno left to just try and defend this by himself. But what can one poor fishy lady do? Into the might of 5 members of Solari. And Solari will end up taking game 1 in the series. And that is a 1-0 to Crescent Solari. There is game 2, of course. Although, yeah. Well, there's game 2. I just got to set up the lobbies. Give me a second. We'll be going into it very shortly. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to say about that one. I'm going to assume that with the red side this time, they're not going to put Vink on an unwinnable matchup. At the very least, that can change, and then you don't have the massive Irelia on the enemy team. There's not really anything else to say about that one, yeah. It's hard to say because the draft created a lot of problems. Which hopefully they'll be able to fix. With the red side, they do get that counter pick. And I will now just, of course, setting up the lobby. We'll get one team. We'll get the other team. Oops. If you could invite the rest of your team lists, that would be appreciated. Actually, I don't know if he has a stream on. Okay, he's inviting the rest of his team. Doesn't matter. Cool. And then I'll set up the draft ready to go. So we've got Crescent Solari versus Noxian Crusade. Just let the teams sort themselves out. So interesting enough, in terms of standings wise, I think this who does this put in a good position? Let's talk about this so far. So first off, Noxian Crusade definitely not going to be full wins. Solari, it means will be at least equal with them. Or well, not equal with them. If Solari win this, it will put them in charge of their own destiny in first place. Noxian Crusade, of course, want to win this because then they are in charge of their own destiny in first place. Otherwise, everything goes a bit more yeah, and the league goes kind of weird in how it will work out, but it does make it more interesting by far. So I'm going to give them the draft links. I hope we're not going to see another Gnar into Irelia, because that would be sad. And the two teams can just start up draft whenever they're ready. You know what, let's put a little poll in the chat. Poll. Who win game 2? There you go, have 3 minutes. Who do you guys think is going to win? And we are going into the draft, so I'll swap that over as well very quickly. First ban coming out for the side of Crescent Solari, they will be banning away that Vayne. Of course, taking away the Vayne and Kai'Sa worked quite well for them last game, so I kind of expect it to happen again. I'd be somewhat surprised if we didn't see Vayne, Kai'Sa, Lulu as the 3 bans. They're flashing up the Morgana, something that was allowed through the first round of bans last game. But maybe they priority that. No, they're going to take the Kai'Sa away. Noxian Crusade stuck with their Ezreal ban, wanting to keep that bot lane a little bit more punishable if they can get on top of them. Shen will be the second ban. Looks like we're running back the bans from game 1. Crescent Solari and Noxian Crusade both banning the same champions again. Of course, this time Solari has to make the first pick. So we're not going to see... Well, I assume we're not going to see a Nunu first pick. But it's what they are comfortable blind picking here. Wouldn't be surprised to see an AD carry picked up. It is the Jhin yet again. Something that worked very well for them last game and didn't need too much appeal for itself. So not too surprised that one picks up. You somewhat expect Noxian Crusade to pick up their AD carry in response, and potentially jungler or a support in a Mumu, something that can be flexed between both of them. So quite a nice pickup early, because it means you can take a look where you want to end up putting that and choose later. Looks like they're putting the priority on their mid lane though, picking up the Viger again. They were apparently quite happy with that one from last game. So they want to run that one back. Maybe a bit scared it will get banned, but Trundle picked up in response. A bit of a strange one, picking it up into 2 AP champions. Not seeing anyone else, but Trundle can be quite a strong ganker. And CS will run back the Orianna as well. Happy to take the Orianna into Veigar matchup. This does leave Nox with the chance to either counterpick the jungler, the AD carry, or get a bit of a blind pick. Red is a Trundle main. Good to know. I didn't really, I'll be honest, I did not have the time to look into the games. And by I did not have the time, I mean I played an ARAM instead. But the Samira's picked up, so very kill heavy bot lane, going for a bit more of those, one of those champions that has its own peel mechanics, own jumps. Samira very like the Vayne and Kai'Sa in that respect, but very focused on the early game. So Noxian Crusade going, the scaling didn't work for us so well, we need something to get us through that early game. You know what, let's take the Samira this time. Looks like most people think Solari is going to dominate, 86% of the votes going that Solari will pick up game 2. And we see 2 bans towards the top lane this time from the side of Noxian Crusade. They're getting rid of the Irelia, they're getting rid of the Wukong. Solari actually banning away the Garen and the Gnar, saying we don't have a good thing to pick. Oh, that is the Pantheon coming out. Is that a Pantheon support? Or is it a Pantheon top lane? A champion that can be flexed between both of them. Noxian Crusade, pretty much impossible to tell where their champions are going, apart from Samira going into AD carry. List we've seen on the Lux before, but I really doubt it'll be Lux picked up. Lots of champions being flashed up. This is probably what's going to be picked up in the support position. I wouldn't be surprised, probably just the Thresh again. It is. Thresh champion that can do quite well into something like the Pantheon, can just flay away Pantheon if you line it up correctly. W Ori, I mean the Ori was already picked up. I saw the Lux and thought, let's just play Lux, but then it's like, I'm just too used to both Orianna and Lux being played support, because I do that all the time to people. Sad they nerfed Orianna support for Orianna mid-sins. Anyway, Set will be picked up as a top laner for Solari, a strong blind pick. And it will be countered with the Aatrox. We're going to have a very explosive top lane yet again, but this time it should be a bit of a closer matchup as to who is going to win this one. Yet again, of course, draft can start up when both teams are ready. So this time, the one thing I will say about Noxian Crusade is they kind of want to throw bans both towards top and bot lane. It does mean that this their jungler can go wherever they want, but a bit yikes. Honestly, I'd be kind of interested if this jungle Pantheon could work quite well as well. Solari struggled with the Mumu last time. Well, maybe they'll struggle with it again. We'll of course have to wait for these champions to start getting locked in to see which champion will be where for Noxian Crusade, because not particularly confirmed. It will be the Amumu jungle though. Aatrox will be going top, so it will be the Pantheon support. Could have been the other way around, but that would have been less expected. Especially when you have something like a Trundle in the jungle, do you really want to put an AD champion against it? Not really. Of course, people forget Amumu jungle somewhat buffed as well from the Q buffs that he got that allowed him to become a support. So definitely not the end of the world. What we're looking for in the early game here is, can Noxian Crusade get a lead in top and bottom lane? Because they have the late game insurance on the Vigar, but if Aatrox gets put into a hole, there's not really any climbing out of it. And if Samira gets put into a hole, there's not really any climbing out of it. Reddy basically has his choice of which lane do I want to try and gank here and just make the game unplayable for. So I'm not the biggest fan again of Noxian's draft, because it feels like yet again they've made the game slightly harder for themselves, and if one of these lanes fall behind, there's no real catch-up mechanics there. Samira doesn't really catch up from behind. Aatrox doesn't really catch up from behind. Meanwhile, when you look at the side of Solari, Jin will eventually scale into the game. Set will eventually scale into the game. Can't really put either of them down too far. But if Noxian Crusade do manage to get the Samira or the Aatrox very far ahead, they'll become an absolute menace in this game. And of course, we've still got 3 minutes to wait for the spectator delay, and then we'll get straight into the game. Talking for a very long time is quite hard. So, how you guys doing? What are your predictions? Anyone got any spicy predictions for this game? Want to throw anything out there? Do you think, like, Oriana's gonna just suddenly work out how to kill Vigar and absolutely destroy a lane? Is the bot lane of Solari going to absolutely smack around Fulminari and Svenno? What's going to happen? I mean, I will say this bot lane should be pretty unplayable for the Jhin and Thresh. If Thresh does not take Flay level 1, that is pretty much just hard trolling. Like, and I assume Sven is going to take press the attack here, take W level 1, and they can. This is definitely a lane. Pantheon Samira can kill you level 1. Very easily kill you level 1, especially when you're a champion that doesn't have pretty much any defensive stats in the Jhin or the Thresh. You have to be extremely careful. Meanwhile, top lane. I think you kind of, if you're Toralure here, you hope that Fulminari and Svenno, with this far more aggressive early game bot lane, are going to be able to handle themselves. And I think you focus all of your efforts up towards this top lane in getting Vink ahead, because you want to keep Aatrox in the game, you want to get him ahead, you want to make it so that he wins this 1v1 matchup so he can be that side lane threat. He's always going to be in trouble being ganked by the Trundle is the issue. So you want to be there ready to do the counter gank, get those counter ganks down, get those counter ganks down. Tongue, please. And get ready to go. Yeah. Of course, it's all to do with how this game goes. If a similar thing to the last game happens, where Solari give over 2 kills early, that could decide the game this time. When you've got something like, when you've got champions like Samira, Pantheon, and Aatrox on the other team, it's a lot more impactful if you suddenly give one of them a kill level 1 rather than the other way around. So Exhaust Ignite bot lane from Noxian Crusade, going for those kills. Attack on Rat this time, taking the Electrocute, wanting to do a bit more damage, a bit more burst damage, going for a kill. Conqueror on the Amumu. He will also be going for those early kills. I will swap over to the game now, as we have just loaded in. Although we loaded in too quickly yet again. And I've not turned myself off this time. Perfect. I'm not sure how. I must have hit a key by accident. Whatever hotkey muters by accident. I guess M. Though, how would I have hit M? It's so far away from everything else. Maybe. Because N brings up the timers in game. So if I was tabbed out, tried to press it, slightly missed, hit M. That's probably how I muted myself last game. Anyway, this time it looks like there will not be an invade from Solari, but Noxian Crusade are ready for the counter.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I wouldn't be surprised actually to see Noxian Crusade invade. They do have a very strong level 1 with the double Q that can come out from the Amumu. Pantheon W can instantly proc press the attack on someone, so you essentially get what is like a electrocute proc, and then I think level 1 is 8% bonus damage being done to that person. So it's like everyone just gets um, the precision tree rune from the bottom that does 8% damage when they're under 40% health. You just get that from full health. But nothing coming out here. And they will give Turilla on the Amumu the leash. If you are the Pantheon, you can actually W this buff level 1. I wonder if he's done that. Nope, just gonna auto it. Because you can W the buff, and then because you get 3 auto attacks straight away, you pretty much stack your passive back up. So you can do another 2 autos without the buff dying. And you can be on full as well and not give away. Oh, but this is a potential gank coming out towards the bot lane. Turilla is sitting in this bush. They're walking forwards. Will they flash engage here? Flash forwards from Sveno. He does force the flash out from the Jhin. They're going so hard onto Suffix, and they get 2 flashes out for the price of 1. And that's a big engage level 1 in the bot lane. Meanwhile, Vink fighting Titus in the top lane, actually doing about half damage to the set. Getting the better of him in this early game. If you're a fan of Noxian Crusade, you're very happy with how this game is going so far. Narcissistic and Suffix now having to play extremely far back. They've fallen a little bit behind on CS, but not an amazing amount. It's mostly the XP that's causing them the biggest issue so far. So, if you're Sveno, of course you want to stack this pass back up as much as possible. Fulminare, just take that cannon. Come on, let the support Pantheon have the cannon. Jesus. Anyway, in the mid lane, Liss actually struggling quite a bit with the mana, but does have the disgusting corrupting pot. Ready has found Turilla. Oh, that's a bad flash. Will be forced to smite. That red buff will still go down in the end. Didn't get in range of the bandage toss to get out. First blood onto the Trundle. Not what you particularly want. Sveno is slowly charging back. This is a really bad spot, honestly, for the wave to be. They side of Noxian Crusade really wants to force this out. Ooh, Vink taking so much damage there, not dodging to the side, so taking the fall to the face. Titus might just go for a tower dive. The level up should give Vink enough health to survive. And he will actually fall behind on CS despite that small lead early. Ready here, coming for the gank. Will flash in for the chomp. A second chomp already. That was off cooldown incredibly fast. They will force the flash out from the Aatrox. Just as it looks like it's going well for Noxian Crusade, a bit of a disaster. Gank coming into the mid lane here. Liss forced to flash away from Turilla. Will stay in the minion wave to make sure there's no bandage toss follow-up. Fulminare and Sveno want this to push in towards them, really. It looks like they will get it pushing towards them. That's exactly what they need. Vink has TP'd back. But he's going in on Titus. That's a lot of damage. Forces the W out, but they've not managed to do anything from it. I think, not sure if Sveno, they turning it around. Ignite's thrown down onto the Jhin. That will be him going down. I'm not sure why they were trading there onto 2 champions that do insane amount early game. Vink trying to get that kill, but he doesn't have the flash. Forces the flash out from Titus. Or Titus, but Vink almost managing to turn that one around and pick up a kill. Would have kept him very strong in the game. Probably just wants to kill this wave, honestly, and get it back out if possible. I'm not sure, is that wave going to bounce? Is that coming back to him? Teleport coming in from Titus. He will end up pushing that one in. I think he's putting down the control ward that he bought. Honestly, a nice pickup of a control ward because he knows lane will become very hard for him to play. That time, dodging out a good direction, dodging sideways, not straight forwards. Thankfully with the built-in Aatrox lifesteal, he'll slowly get some health back. Facebreaker does miss. Tyrella just sitting in the bush. Could attempt a gank onto the Orianna. Attack on Rat moving very far up. Here comes Ready though. There's the pillar, but it's not going to do too much. Oh, good timing on that bandage toss. The ultimate comes in from the Orianna, pulling 2 back. Rise Suffix is here. Nice dodge to the side, but there's enough damage to just finish that off. Ready now on 2 kills. Fink uses the ultimate. Going to use this level advantage to try and get the kill onto Titus. Titus is trying to get 6. He does manage to get it. He could potentially dunk Vink back here. Dunk goes back into the minions. Will Vink put a ward in the bush? He does. One more auto attack. Trying to get close enough. Just needs the Q. Oh, the W coming out. Tita's still alive. The minions slowly winning it for him, but Vink will pick up that kill. Sveno now caught out somehow in the river. Attack on Rat and Turla are here to back up. Puts the stun onto Rise Suffix. There's a lot of damage going down onto the Thresh. Attack on Rat somehow taking very low. Ready is here. They've not picked up the kill yet. There's 4 members here from Solari. Fulminari is jumping in, trying to pick up a kill. But he's taking so low. Will pick up the kill, and it's a 1-for-1. And Cloud now going over to the side of Solari. They get 3 kills for 1, and I mean, close to 1,000 gold difference in this early game yet again. It's a better early game from Noxian Crusade, but yet again they just it feels like they're overforcing. They're really trying for some of these trades that they don't need to. They've got no real reason to try them. You know, if someone dies, you don't have to go for the bad fight to try and get something back. Gank coming into the bot lane here. Sveno a little bit got out. The exhaust is thrown down. There's the curtain call. Fulminari can't get there in time and might also end up falling. Blocks the 3rd shot. 4th was almost enough to take him down. Suffix not in range for the ignite means that Fulminari does stay alive. And I'll say with the getting the counter matchup here, Vink doing a lot better this time. But unfortunately, the rest of the map's not doing better. Sveno charging up the passive. Vink with nice trades will need to dodge out on this one. Does do so. Interestingly, doesn't dodge towards Titus. Ooh, Ready is here for another gank when this pushes in. Okay, spotted. Does get to the other side of the pillar. The slow's not going to last very long. Ultimate used from the Aatrox. He's going to try and fight this one. He's putting down the auto attack. It's been taken incredibly low. Will flash away to safety. Knows that with the AD gone. Big issue. Ignite on set's probably better here. Yeah, he could have gone for Ignite. Face Breaker, though. That's one dead Aatrox, surely, but no. Can't quite get the auto attacks out. And there's the Rammus thumbs up from Vink as he knows Tita's gonna die there. Manages to get the kill onto Aatrox as well. Pretty much perfect, making the lane even stronger in Aatrox's favor. Oh, bad timing there from Fulminari. Ignite goes out as well. They're just going to pull the Pantheon in. He will get the last shot off. Flash forward from Narcissistic will pick up one there. Attack on Rat goes down meanwhile. Nice dodge out to the side from Sveno, but he will go down to the auto attacks. Yeah, an interesting couple of games. Again, Solari just winning out on the map plays. The bot lane of Solari actually just outplaying Noxian Crusade's bot lane. Has to be said, they're had some better ganks for sure, but also just in the straight up 2v2s have been playing better. That looks like they want to go back in again, but Sveno's not really close enough. The box is used to just dissuade them, and nothing can get picked up. Hook goes down onto Sveno. He doesn't have the W charged up. Ignite goes out. Heal will save Rise Suffolk's life. And nothing really picked up yet again. Narcissistic. Just has no chill, going straight in every time. And not sure, maybe attack on Rat. Let's see how many stacks he's on compared to he's on 57. I mean, honestly, it's been so long since I've seen a Vigar, I have absolutely no idea what we should expect from stacks. Tita's actually in the bot lane, realizes his lane is unplayable, and is just like, you know what, screw it, let's get our bot lane even further ahead. Vink will TP in here to make it the 3v2. Tita's going incredibly low, will go down to the Inferno trigger in the end, although actually Vink picks up the kill, I'm not sure how. There's another TP coming into the bot lane, attack on Rat will come here, a nice stun from Sveno, that's a big shutdown into Vink. Vink getting his revenge from when his previous team played against Solari here. 5 kills on the Aatrox, 20 CS up. Oh, but there's a hook down onto Fulminare. Suffix picking up the kill in the 1v2. Attack on Rat, flashing in to use the ultimate to pick up that kill. Will go down in the end. And a Mountain Drake picked up. We have an Ocean. Well, if teams weren't planning to build Grievous Wounds, they definitely should be now. I mean, they should have been to start with. Oh my god, I've just noticed Turilla only has 2 Ruby Crystals, so how much gold is he sitting on? 2,000. And he's not backed yet. I think takes it back. Most of his gold, I think, was picked up after that fight. Got about 3 shutdowns. Has the full Bloodthirster. That's not going to be a fun lane for Titus anymore. Vink will be able to just run straight at him, probably tank the W to the face and keep going. Yeah, Suffix and Narcissistic slightly ahead, but nowhere near as strong as before. Looks like they're trying to turn it around. The full press the attack is used onto Narcissistic. He's taken incredibly low. Fulminary will pick up that kill. Bit of a mistake there. Suffix doesn't get the flay out in time, which allows Sveno to get the triple hit off after the W. And this is basically the problem. You need the press the attack instant proc is the thing that makes this lane, make the lane with the Pantheon support so oppressive. If you'll notice if you try playing against a Pantheon support that has press the attack compared to Conqueror, one lane you just randomly die a lot, and the other lane you don't. And it is all down to do with can you get this press the attack proc off. That's why Thresh is a fairly decent counter into it. If you ever try and go onto their ADC as the Pantheon, Thresh should just flay you away so that you're no longer in auto attacker range after you get the stun down. That means you can't get press the attack off, it means that a lot of your damage is just gone. Anyway, there's a fight here in the jungle. Turilla being taken incredibly low, taken out pretty much instantly. Sveno's trying to do what damage he can, but he will also go down. Attack on Rat did not manage to take Liss out, and now out of position, Facebreaker pulling him back. They'll give it over to Titus on the set. Give him a little bit of gold to try and catch up to the Aatrox. Although I'm not sure how worth that is at this point. Yeah, my voice is going after two days of this. Titus 2 levels down. Oh, Suffix with a nice death sentence into Flay. Fulminari will get the Inferno trigger off. Actually takes Narcissistic incredibly low. Pretty much healing up to full at this point. That's 1 down. Turning around 2 down. We can see this is the early game Samira getting ahead. Yes, she was very far behind, but when she gets that 1 item spike, uh, yeah, just trundle things. First turret here will go over to the side of Noxian Crusade though, putting up a much better fight this game, keeping it within 1,000 gold difference. Towards 15-minute mark, they get the first turret themselves. It is traded on the top side, but it looks like maybe Noxian Crusade will just go for the second turret. Will they? They don't have. Oh, I thought I saw purple around the Amumu. I assumed they had. Oh no, yep, Rift Herald was summoned. It's a bit of a spectator bug. It said red trinket. I don't know. Svenno's found Liss here, but there is no follow-up. Yeah, if I'm quiet for a while, my voice is really struggling to keep up right now, so oof. Hopefully there's not lots of team fights to talk quickly about. Both teams looking for this dragon spawning in about 14 seconds. We're going to go a bit calmer because it's just easier on my throat. Have a nice ASMR casting stream, maybe. But Solari get the better setup by far on the Drake. They should be able to just pick that one up, no issues. 2 Drakes. Nice ultimate pulls Fulminare back. He's almost stacked up the Inferno trigger, but shut down into the pockets of Ready right now. There's a lot of gold on this troll. Vink, meanwhile, just pushing in that top lane. The problem with spelling it like that is it says Gabblit. Svenno's found Narcissistic in the mid lane, and that should be a kill. No, not quite picked up in the end. Meanwhile, Vink caught out on the top side, did use the ultimate to try and escape, but I think he might just have to fight that one. Will try and run away and will eventually get picked up. Not sure what happened there in the mid lane, but there was a trade. Most of Noxian Crusade running towards this top lane tower. Why is that a problem? Not really a problem. People might just take it the wrong way. Anyway, Liss should be able to pick up this bot lane. Tower through nice map place inside of Solari. Slowly giving themselves a lead yet again. I'd love to actually see the gold graph after this game. I bet it's just like a roller coaster, honestly. So although there's a gold lead, maybe we should take a look at actually where the gold is situated. 2,000 gold lead for Vink in the top lane. Ready has about 4,000 in the jungle. About 2,000 for Liss in mid. We've got about 500 for Fulminare in the AD carry position. And about 300 lead for Svenno support. Punky spamming, I believe that we can win. Problem is I don't know which team. I would assume maybe Vink. I know he's played on a team with Vink before. So maybe he's saying Noxian Crusade can win. Oh, that's a lot of damage being thrown down onto attacking Rat. Vink, yes. They're trying to block as much damage as they can. Final shot will come out. Won't manage to hit onto attack on Rat. Nice keeping back, keeping their team alive. And TP coming into the mid lane from attack on Rats. I guess they thought there was the potential of the tower dive there, just wanted to be ready in case there was. But Titus now heading down towards this bottom lane to push in that bot wave. Liss is in the top lane to match the Aatrox. Fulminari has been left mid to pick up the mid waves as they come into the tower. Not too much happening on the map as neither team is happy to go for this Baron. Vink fishing for the kill onto the Orianna, but won't hit it. Death Sentence, just to say, look, I can hit you. Fulminari will proc the bone plating. Ready, running in though. There's the big pillar coming out, exhaust thrown down onto the troll. Curse of the Sad Mummy, they should be able to pick that up. 1,000 gold bounty going into the pockets of Fulminari. They pull Terralura into the turret. He's taken incredibly low. Does the Gale Force forwards, but he's in the enemy team, has to flash straight out. Titus gets a really nice face break onto 2, flips Fulminari back into the turret, but Fulminari is somehow still alive, taking tower shot, doesn't go down in the end. Death Sentence hits onto Vink, pulling him back towards the team. Attack on Rat, throwing skill shots. Not many people actually die in the end, and here's the curtain call being opened up. No one's in quite low yet. Sveno waiting to use the E on the last shot. No! Will go down in the end. Rise Suffix caught in the cage, but they can't quite put enough damage into him. Fulminari jumping in, trying to use the W, picks up one. Will go down in response. Attack on Rat forced to flash away. I kind of wonder how this sounds, talking like this while it's going down, but Death Sentence hitting on, there's no time to stop now. Stopwatch to just buy a little bit of time for Vink to try and keep him alive, but there's nothing that an Aatrox can do. And Vink left to try and defend. 1 versus 4 makes the correct choice to just give up that tower. And honestly, bad time for Noxian Crusade to die. No teleport on attack on Rat, and Drake about to spawn. Although it looks like Solari are happy to just take their backs. You know what's weird? I think the viewers have gone up since I started talking like this. Just trying to rest my throat a little bit, and I'm not sure if that's good or not. Fulminari will be picking up the bot waves. Looks like Solari, after taking their backs, are heading straight towards this dragon. They want to just try and burst it out again. Blue Trinket will spot them out, but there's no one anywhere in range to contest it. Terralura is up on the top side. He's not got the Nunu this time, not going to go for those steals. Solari as a 5-man are just going to push this mid lane, move up towards the top side, establish their vision control around the Baron this time. Wards going into the pit. See, Noxian Crusade not quite sure with the Baron having to throw wards in there. Vink the one to sort of be the sacrificial land to go around clear that troll ward. Rise Suffix will deny it. Early Death Sentence thrown out. Sveno though overstepping maybe a little bit. A lot of damage being put onto Fulminari. He will be stunned up. Curtain Call is used. They proc the Mythic Shield. Fight breaking out. Curse of the Sad Mummy is used. Terralura going back in, providing what CC that he can. Some quite low health bars on the side of Solari. Vink's in the backline, but the rest of the team aren't really helping him out. Terralura go back in. Fulminari's in. Inferno trigger used onto Narcissistic, following him up. Takes out the enemy ADC. Listen, Suffix, the only ones left alive on Solari now. Left to run away. That's so much damage coming out from the Orianna. Liss trying to follow up, kill Fulminari, but Fulminari jumps back in and just assassinates the Orianna. Suffix, the only one left alive here, will just try and waste as much time from the end as possible. Nice Death Sentence timing, but you're a Thresh into a Pantheon. This is only going to go one way. They should probably... Sveno might want to just leave this as long as possible. Ooh, Suffix, though, turning it around. That was maybe a little bit too close for comfort. But that extra timing will make quite a bit of difference. It means Suffix is not up for another 30 seconds. Gives Noxian Crusade time on the map. an interrupt on Fulminari's back. They're useful, you know, if you can deny someone with Baron backing, it's always good. It buys you some time. Sure, that's only a few extra seconds, but sometimes, you know, people take towers with the last few seconds of Baron. And you don't want to be in one of those situations where you're like, oh, Baron wore off as they took that last tower. If only I had, like, run up and pressed Trundle Pillar on that guy. He wouldn't have been there to push and they wouldn't have taken that tower. And Noxian Crusade actually ahead for what might be the first time since the very early game. Definitely a team that sort of needs to be ahead. Turilla could be in trouble. Is pulled back by the Orianna ultimate. That Amumu will fall in the end. Caught out going for the Scuttle Crab. A classic mistake. You don't stand for people bullying Scuttle Crabs around here. Just kidding, but... Sol should be coming up in about a minute and a half. Meanwhile, we have to wait and see what's done with Baron. Vink smells something might be up, so will just attempt to run away. W won't be enough to stop Ready. Really nice death sentence from Suffix will pull Vink round, but Vink's level 16, he could 1v2 this. Doesn't quite have the confidence, maybe because they didn't see Narcissistic on the map, wasn't sure whether he'd suddenly appear. Vink now going in for this 1v3 because he knows the rest of his team is coming. That's the flip back, but Fulminari's here, almost gets the Inferno Trigger off. There it is, Inferno Trigger used. They will pick up the kill onto the troll. He's jumping into the backline, trying to put the damage down. Will get taken down eventually, but he's also managed to get the set. Listen, a lot of trouble as Vink is just putting a lot of damage into him. Nice Q over the wall from Vink to interrupt the curtain call. He's running forwards, taking so much damage. Ignite goes into him. He will get taken down in the end. Attack on Rat also here. Cage coming out will flash away from the death sentence. Tyrellus here as well. And such scrappy team fights coming out. Almost 50 kills in this game before 30 minutes. 50 kills in this game before 30 minutes. But Ocean Drake spawning very shortly. Tyrellus is there. Ready is running there as fast as he can, but will he be able to get there in time? Attack on Rat can put a lot of damage into this. Percent health damage coming out from the Amumu. He will be able to get there in time if he blast cones straight away. Will he be able to steal this? But he smites early, Tyrellus. Really well done to hold onto that smite for the last second. Will save his team from the Ocean Soul. Looks like he'll give his life to do it, but that does keep them potentially in this game for that much longer. Just think about how many of those fights could have gone differently if there was healing for the side of Crescent Solari. Slight mistime there from Vink on the knock-up. Both teams just going back to farming. Backs coming out. Mid lane actually still standing and really healthy for the side of Solari. Very good for them. Of course, it's hard for Noxian Crusade to push. They have a very low range team. I think Vigar might be have the highest range on the team. And you don't really want your Vigar to be ahead auto-attacking the tower. He has no real way to get back to save himself if anyone does get on top of him. Samira is a little bit safer, but of course she can't dash through her allies anymore. They had to remove that pretty much instantly because Riot, please, your champion's definitely not overloaded or anything. Yeah, they're like, oh, our champions don't have overloaded kits. How many things have they removed? Svenno could be in a lot of trouble here as the curtain call is used. Will use the E to block one shot. That might just be enough though. Walking out the back. Fulminari will tank the final shot. How much AP on Vigar? good point. Let's have a check. 139 stacks, 500 AP. Nice death sentence onto Sveno. That will be the pickup. Tirilla taking a lot of damage. Sadmine will be thrown down. They will manage to trade one back. Tita's flashing out of that one. Ready taking a lot of damage actually. Fulminary jumping in. Inferno Trigger is ready. Vink is on the backside here. Narcissistic in a lot of trouble. Try and Gale Force away. Have to use the flash. Tita's just trying to run away. Liz gets a nice shockwave onto attack on Rabbit. It's not enough damage. Fulminary is here to follow up on that one, and the exhaust will make sure that he can. Vink fighting. Fulminary jumping in with the Inferno Trigger will finish that one off. It's 5 for 2 in favor of Noxian Crusade. And they will finally get down that outer mid tower and then turn their eyes towards this Baron. With the Samira, the Aatrox should fall fairly quickly. And yeah, I'll say probably the biggest problem for the side of Solari right now is they don't have enough anti-heal. They have it on Thresh and Trundle, but they're relying on them being hit. It's not the best thing when you need your opponent to hit you to trigger your anti-heal. Not really what you want. Has been picked up on the Orianna, which is of course nice to see. What I would actually like to see, and this is going to sound kind of weird, but I'd like to see the support Grievous Wound item picked up on the Orianna, not the Morellos, because the support Grievous Wound item so much stronger than Morello's is, and that extra HP that you actually get from the Morellos, not really worth that much. But with this support Grievous Wounds item, as long as Liss presses E on someone when a fight's starting to break out, which he's probably going to do, you give both of you 60% Grievous Wounds. Like, great. You don't need them to be low, you just get 60% Grievous Wounds instantly. And that can be really effective into the Aatrox, who'll be healing a hell of a lot, and into Fulminari, who also, when proccing the Inferno Trigger, will be healing a hell of a lot. It's worth noting Vink is now level 18, but getting towards full build, so the scaling potential is pretty much stopped. Ooh, Dragon will get picked up by Noxian Crusade. It's 3 Drakes to 3. Looks like Rise Suffix actually picked up a pot there. I think he has a iron elixir on. We can check actually. He does have an iron elixir on. Ready going in there, but that's a lot of damage. And it's just CC'd up and nothing that he can do. Just an overstep from the Trundle. And that could be a very big problem. Left in a 4v5 now against a Baroned up Noxian Crusade. Rise Suffix goes for the flash death sentence, hoping to make the hero play. It does hit onto a minion though. Good defense coming out from the side of Solari, slowing down this Baron buff. Vink is trying to push in the bot lane, but it's taking a while. Vigar has completed the Rabdons, is working towards, I think, the Seraphs right now. How much is he up to now? 649 AP. So a lot of AP picked up. Will balloon again as soon as the Seraphs is finished, because remember, Seraphs is probably going to give him around another 120-ish. I suppose he's already got a blast, needlessly large rod, so another like 60-ish on top of that, which will then be increased by the hat. Good old meme hat coming in. be interesting. We're at that point of the game where it might just be worth supports picking up the ward stone. Of course, if you don't know about ward stone, someone sign this Jhin. Well, the Jhin was extremely good in the first game. They did quite well in the very early game in this one. Oh, the death sentence just missed. Rise oversteps. Does not go down because of all of the shields. They're trying to turn it around. Fulminari is ready to use the Inferno trigger though. Waiting to be able to jump in. Titus will go down jumping in. There's the Inferno trigger being used. Nice stopwatch means that Inferno trigger does nothing, but Liz will still go down in the end. Narcissistic caught out a bit by Vink here. Uses the heal to get away. Meanwhile in the mid lane, Fulminari still just doing a bit of damage. That's a lot of damage. Ultimate thrown out. Normal power of attack on Rat will take down Ready. Tentacle used by Narcissistic, but he's not far enough back and is in danger of attacking Rat and Fulminari. There's a death sentence onto the Samira, but she just turns it around. One-shots the Jhin. Inferno trigger, that's another one picked up. TP coming in will help keep the wave alive as long as possible. They know they can end here. And here's the difference, I suppose, when you give Fulminari a champion that can make plays by himself, and when you give Vink a matchup that's actually playable. Titus goes in, tries to make the hero play, does get 1-for-1, but we get the bug. But Noxian Crusade, I'm pretty sure we can assume finish off that game. The classic spectator bug, you know, happens like all the time. But don't worry, they won that game. Can't remember as well how this works. If I leave, does it even give me the end game screen? It does, yeah, so they did win. So it ends up being a 1-1 between Noxian Crusade and Crescent Solari. So where does that leave our table? Well, it does mean if Noxian Crusade manage to win the rest of their games, they will still be in first place. Or they will end up in first place. It means if Crescent Solari win the rest of their games, they will end up in second place. Or well, actually, Paper Squad. No one expects Paper Squad, but Paper Squad still have the ability to get first place themselves. If they win every single game, they would be drawn with Crescent Solari right now. Well, actually no, they'd be drawn with Crescent Solari for second. I suppose they'd end up being drawn first because they'd have to beat Noxian Crusade. I don't know. It's a bit of a mess. My voice is really messed up right now, so we can have a talk about the scorelines later / another time because I can't really lose my voice. That would be quite bad. But yeah, so Paper Squad picking up a nice win for themselves. Noxian Crusade and Solari getting the draw, so hey, maybe we'll see a rematch between them in playoffs. That could be a very fun series. But poll for games. Oh, for MVPs. I suppose I could. Who do I think should be on the polls for MVPs? Who do you guys think should be on the poll for MVPs? First 5, let's go. And I'll literally accept whatever. First 5 names in chat. We'll see how this goes. Vink's our first one. Titus. Ready. Fulminari. We need one more. perfect from bad to certain. It was said, so I'm putting it in. Oh, I know what you guys are like, and you know what? We're allowed. Well, I'm not even gonna say it. Okay, yeah, let's do this. You got 3 minutes. Go for it. Just waiting to see if people realize what I've done. Because I've done it on purpose, and will anyone notice? But anyway, yeah, really good series. Fun to watch. Unfortunately, my voice is giving out. But hey, after 6 games yesterday, and then 4 games today, that's, I guess, somewhat to be expected. While that's going on, I can actually update the challenge website so that it's all there for you guys as well. So we had Arc Battle Queens vs Paper Squad, not 2. Yeah, if you ever see one of these scores is wrong, let me know, because I did put one in wrong by accident earlier. Or yesterday. Crescent Solari vs Noxian Crusade. So we still have potentially coming up this week, I'm not sure. Paper Squad Cataclysm. Actually, there is one still coming up this week. Oh, I see people have noticed. Although it looks like we have a lot more Ready fans in the house than anything else. I was wondering how long it'd be before people noticed it costs 1 production point to vote again. Ready storming through the vote. He has almost 50% by himself. 233 votes right now. Yeah, there is another game, I think, that has been scheduled. Yeah, Cataclysm Paper Squad will be happening Sunday at 6:30 CEST, so that'll be 5:30 PM BST. Paper Squad versus Cataclysm. Should be a cool game to watch. Best use of production. Yeah, this stops people using it for other means as well. Hehehe, all part of the plan. See how many production points I just scammed out of people? I scammed like 500. Ready was MVP though. Aatrox OP, Irelia OP. I mean, did you guys know Irelia's a massive counterpick to Gnar? I don't know if you knew that going in, or if you like had any way to counter that. Yep, Ready did win the vote, 43%, 233 votes. Respect to Titus gets 24% of the vote with 129. Everyone else on 11%. Yes, of course, you know. Yeah. I mean, I had to ask. You guys blind picked the Gnar when Titus is an Irelia player. Like, if you'd looked into him, you should have realised he played Irelia. Then I would have thought you'd think, oh, he'll pick Irelia here if we pick Gnar. I don't know. Anyway. There you go, Ready getting MVP. Doing very well in both games. Yeah, okay. Thanks everyone for coming, thanks for watching, and I will catch you all next time.